future generations.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Control, Jacob Rebecca, back initiated. Looking at all ports. Clear. And we are good to go.
All right, Roger. We got everything is nominal up here, floating around our big blue imaginary marble up here at 250 miles above your imagination in the International Fake Station. How is everyone doing tonight? Hello, fellow miscreants and miscreants, heathens and rejects. Just kidding. So, how is everybody doing tonight? I'm going to go over here. Oh, that's right. We got to change this over so that we have. How do we do that? Oh, yeah. Live chat. This thing, I don't know why they even just have top chat. That's kind of stupid. I hate it. Hey, there's Austin Murphy. He's got a little fella down there waving at me. Hi. Hi, Austin. Austin's a cartoon. NASA got a hold of him and turned him into a cartoon. Oh, man, science making scientific shit shakes. Dude, you are absolutely right. Somebody said something up here earlier I saw where they said, I said, I thought you said the world doesn't turn. No, I said the earth does not move. Okay? The world. And that is what I mean by this experience that you are in is spiraling out of fucking control. Okay, so let me get a look and see who's all in here. See, that's what I say. The earth remains stationary, but the world is spinning out of control, man. Feel free to use that because I think it really explains a lot in this world in which we live in. What a freaking clown show these last, it's always been a clown show. I think we're just waking up and realizing what a goddamn clown show it actually is. It may have always been this crazy and nuts. You realize that it may have always been this crazy and nuts. And we are just now waking up and realizing just how crazy and nuts this stupid shit really is. All of it, The producer Moose says that the Flat Earth versus Globe Army will one ever win. It to me has become obvious that one has. And I think Lucky Haskins pried the bar open on that one because I started watching. Before I get into this, I'm just going to go ahead and give a shout out to the people that I got out here in the chat already. It looks like I got 25 people watching right now. Thanks for granting him superpowers. The XL Master says, I will do you right. I know you will, sir. I have absolutely I didn't even have to think about it, bro. And I was thinking, because I was thinking about doing that the other day. And And it just slipped my mind when you said that. I was like, oh yeah, thanks for reminding me. So I absolutely wanted to do that, 100%. So once again, back to what I started to do. I've been getting sidetracked all day. I've been watching some stuff, and it was taking me forever to get through the material. And I'm not angry about it, but still it's waiting to get through all the material. But I had different people came by. Username redacted blowed through here and went over my entire Wi-Fi system, and I think we may have taken care of those glitches. We were getting like 100,000% fucking great shit going on here. So thank you, username redacted. Yeah, fantastic guy. My little cousin is lucky to have him for a husband, and I believe that he's in turn quite just as lucky to have her. She is so much like her mother. She reminds me of her mother so much. Just, a little bit different personality, but her mannerisms, boy, it's scary as hell to me sometimes. I'm like, whoa. Takes me back. I'll just see her do something. I'm like, God dang it, just look like your mom. Anyway, enough of that. Let me go over to my participants. I got Austin Murphy, who has been turned into a cartoon by NASA. We got Benny Boys with us tonight. Good to see you tonight, Ben. If you're not following Ben on Facebook, you should be. Ben, put your Facebook, Twitter, whatever in the chat if you would, or if you want to. And I'll tell you what, he puts out some pretty cool stuff, man. It's always good. I get up and I'm just looking to see what kind of stuff's going on, and boom, I usually get hit by some stuff from Ben, and I'm like, that's dope, man. That's dope. He's also, yeah. So anyway, Ben's here with us. FE Nation. Where the hell happened to Austin Murphy? Little bastard, get back here. Isaiah 54:17. Martin Gax is with us tonight. He's my friend from over across in Europe here. I love his accent. Michael Ritz is with us tonight. Good to see you, Michael. Again, only this time in digital form. Pretty cool. Neo Theon. That's kind of cool. Did I say that right? No longer on the ball, ZXL Master, of course, who we have mentioned already. And we'll give that a minute to catch back up. There it is. There's Saddlebum has joined us as well. We got no longer on the ball. Let's see. Who did I miss that didn't tell me was here? I think that pretty much goes over. So, I've been watching, oh hell, why can't I ever remember the name of that channel? Yeah, it's a debate channel. I'm trying to remember what the name of it is. I'll pull it up in a minute, and I'm just as a course to bring you what the kind of thing I'm talking about. And what tonight I was talking about is this mockery. Okay. This is the biggest thing. So I was watching this channel today that does those flat earth debates. He does all kinds of different debates, and he's supposedly a moderator. Although the one I'm currently watching, he does seem to be kind of biased in his moderation in this one. However, that being said, I was looking at some patterns. Okay. Now, I usually don't give these Glober troll people too much attention or watch their material because I've already deemed that they're full of shit to begin with. Right. So I don't have any need to watch them. Now, that being said, as I have now, I have to go with the very, very wise consensus of my brother from another mother, Lucky Haskins, who pointed this out, that that's all they have is their fake space and their mockery. Okay. And most of all, their mockery, because when you destroy their space, that's all they have left. And the reason I saw this happening. So Lucky had talked about one of these debates that he had watched on the same channel. And I'm going to look and see what is the name of that damn thing. It's going to piss me off till I remember it, because I just looked so I would remember before I came online. Then I took a bong hit and I went, oh, fuck, I forgot what that was. So it's all right. Google kept track of it for me. Thank you, Google. Modern day debate. That's what it was. Okay. So I watched the one he was talking about where this guy, I don't know who he was debating. Some guy that looks like a vampire. He kind of reminds me of somebody that would host a late night horror movie show, you know, like where they show on TV a horror movie. And I forget what his name was. Anyway, this guy, he about lost his fucking shit as soon as God was brought into the idea. Yeah, that's what it was. Aaron Ra. Aaron Ra was his name. And he was debating this kid, Nathan Kid. He's a young man, Nathan Thompson. And this kid's really good, man. He's really good. And I'm currently watching him talk to, let me see. Let's see. This was really hard to go through. This guy, FTFE, okay, Fight the Flat Earth is this channel. Oh my God, man. He's like a McToon clone gone horribly wrong. Same pasty look and skin. Same little glasses and that same little fucking twerky smart ass face, right? And the only thing that they got going for him, man, is who I got in here.
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on, brother?
Hey.
So check this out, right? So I was watching this guy, and that's all he did. Every time Nathan went to talk, this guy interrupt. He was so incorrigible that the only thing he was putting up signs that pointed over to Nathan's window saying stupid and shit like that. And I thought, wow, they're children. They are children. And
you look like a man baby yourself.
Yeah. So what do you think on the topic, my friend?
You look like a man baby.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you for that. Good night. The fuck was that? See, there's the mentality right there. Case in point. Case in fucking point. Dude with the record for a name or whatever the hell. Dude, case in point. Thank you for exemplifying the point. You couldn't have been more appropriately on time. You really couldn't have. So this guy, this FTFE, that's all he had through the entire thing. And you're retarded and you say things that are not true. And even though you've shown that what I said was scientifically, you're just scientifically stupid, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, good God, dude, get the fuck over yourself. So I muddled my way through that when listening to that guy. And now currently, who's this guy he's talking to? I forget. I guess somebody called Science Side Up. And it's some woman. And I made a pretty good part. She's like trapped in a bottle. And you know where they always get trapped in a bottle at? No pun intended. A fluid volume without containment. Okay? That right there, my friends, is exactly where they get hooked up. They can't handle it. And we've shown that every time because they cannot. It's a circular reasoning because the very thing that that's in question is the only example that they can show you that exists in nature. So it's like, well, wait a second. No, we've established that can't exist in nature, and you can't use that. You know, I mean, that's just circular reasoning. It's kind of like when they do the stuff that they find, right? They go in there and they say, we found these bones and shit. And we know that they must be about such and such an amount of years old because of the layer we found it in. It's like, cool. So how do you know how old that layer you found that shit in is? And they say, well, we know how old that layer is by the stuff that we find in it. What? So you see how that is? Well, yeah, the Earth. That's what McToon. There again, Same thing. That's all he's got. Being an idiot. Mockery. So I had to draw the little Cookie Monster thing. And you know why that is? Is because we're programmed that way. We're programmed so that you'll go with the flow to avoid the flag. You understand? So rather than expressing an idea that you may actually have that contradicts the status quo, in order to avoid the slings and arrows of the peers that have brainwashed into thinking what the thing you're questioning is the tool they use, you not wanting to even do that. So it's like, well, I am one of few that thinks this. So perhaps I am wrong, because after all, everybody else thinks this. Well, everybody used to think at one time in certain areas that it was all right to own another human being. Did that make it right? No. Did it make it a truism? No. Not at all. So consensus is never a measure of truth, ever. Truth is a measure of truth. And truth is truth, even in a minority of one. Okay? So once you get past that little obstacle of, I don't make your little mockery, even up to and including, my God, that McToon guy, he actually has a web page where he posts people's, personal information and stuff about their life that isn't relevant to any goddamn thing at all. And I guarantee you, he would be the first screaming ass motherfucker in the world if somebody did that to him. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. But who's going to drop to that kind of a level? If I had to drop to a level like that in order to make my point, I don't have a goddamn point, do I? No, not even close. Not even close. And you can take that to the bank from a man baby. Who was that chubby little fella came up here anyway? Anybody ever seen him before? Kind of funny looking guy. So what else? What do we got going on over here in the old Chatterino? But yeah, that's mostly what they've got. And I'll pull up this one from, oh my, just to give you an example, all you have to do is watch about 3 minutes of this fucking shit. And this guy is horrible. That who is he? Fight the Flat Earth. He's got little pictures of himself and superimposed inside the space station wearing NASA shit. What a sicko, man. This is the kind of guy that sits, I mean, you got to really, could you really be more into something that's a fantasy? I mean, I guess you could. There's people that actually think that they're elves. And I knew this woman that she actually learned Elven and she would speak it, I guess. And anyway, yeah, so it doesn't mean that it's real. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Sometimes there's just some crazy shit with that. But what I was gonna do, who is trying to figure out why that's going over here, and that's not coming up over here. MCAX on Redshift and actually everything your email sovereign under theoretic. Yeah. I've, like I said, today has been insane. Okay, I've had like constant interruption throughout the day. I mean, not that that's a bad thing, but it's just been constant interruption from the normal, but it's all good. I was very thankful for a few of those interruptions, actually. So there's that. Everything's a trade-off. So I'll have to get into that, MCAX. I have 3 different email accounts I keep up with, and the one I have is just like full of spam all the fucking time. Can't believe it. It's insane. Got to go in there and delete a bunch of shit all the time. I hate it. But let me see if I can pull it up over here in the old. Yeah, let me pull that guy up. That was terrible. We don't want to hear about Liberty Mutual right now, do we? I'll wait till that's over. All right, so. Oh, they do. I don't think they have a chat replay, do they? Let me see, maybe. So here we go. Sorry about that, guys. Share the screen. So it's this guy here. All right. And he was going up against the Flat Earth, Nathan Thompson, and Fight the Flat Earth. And dude, this was so cringe, the way that this guy right here acts. You notice any similarities between some people we might know on the same page as this guy? Anyway, I'm going to bring this up to just so you can see what they bring to the table. So we'll skip through some of this, and I'll speed it up a little bit so that we don't. I'm going to give you good there. Ooh, nice and crisp, right? So we want to go to the playback speed. I'm going to play it like at, let's try 1.5. And if that's too fast, then I'll get rid of it. All right, here we go. Because we're not going to watch the whole thing. I just want you to see how this was. And if you can see the chat, hopefully, maybe it'd work better if I go down here. And if I leave it this size is the only way you can still see the chat. But you'll see it in the chat from Globers, and you're really going to hear it from this guy. So check this out.
The Flat Earth are sparring on this most important subject. And want to say, if it's your first time here, consider hitting that subscribe button, as we are very excited for a lot of upcoming debates as well. So for example, Wotan will be back next weekend. You'll see that pictured at the bottom right of your screen. We are pumped for that as well. And very excited, want to let you know, we're a nonpartisan channel. So we try to be as neutral as possible, whether you be Christian, atheist, flat earth, globe earth, Democrat, Republican, you name it. We want you to feel welcome. And with that, I want to let you know the format before we get rolling today. So the format for today's debate is 12-minute openings to present arguments, followed by open discussion for about 60 minutes, and then 30 minutes of Q&A. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, Fight the Flat Earth has volunteered to go first. But before we do start the timer for him, I want to let you know both his link and Nathan's link I put in the description. So if you're listening and you're like, I want more. Well, you can get more. I highly encourage you. Click on those links. They're waiting for you just down in that description box. So very excited, folks. Fight the Flat Earth. Glad to have you here. Nathan Thompson, glad to have you here. Gentlemen, thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you for having me back on the channel again, James. Always a pleasure.
Oh, yeah. His little accent's going to sound stupid like that. Here we go.
Happy to be here. Thanks, James. You're awesome. I'm a big supporter. Guys, if you're listening and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. I've been listening long enough to where I'm a Patreon. So big fan of the channel. I love what you do, James.
Thanks. I appreciate that encouragement. And we are stoked as we are going to get the timer started for Fight. And so I have got 12 minutes. You don't have to use all of it. So if either of you feel like you're...
No, you just got my video to play for that 12 minutes.
You betcha. So I will switch it over for that opening statement from Fight the Flat Earth. He has sent me a video beforehand. I've not watched this, so completely spontaneous. You never
It's
know
something special.
You never know what you're going to get. So
now watch this video. This is going to be beautiful. You're going to see exactly what I'm talking about right off the gates.
We are flipping it over right now, folks, to Fight the Flat Earth's opening statement. We're living on a disk, floating through space with a tiny sun.
You get it so Nathan can see it on the screen.
Hey, I'm FTFE from the channel that shoves stupidity feet first into a wood chipper.
All right, guys, I can watch on the YouTube.
On the YouTube,
Yeah,
watch
do that.
Yeah, I'm on YouTube on my phone. Don't worry, I got it.
So right off with hatred, you see that it's cool to be violent and angry toward people that have a different belief. But I digress.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's no use.
For my evidence, I'm going to... Hold on 2 secs. Hello? Yes, NASA, I've got the script for the debate. I'm actually recording my opening argument right now. Yeah, I know you already said that if I do well in the debate and stick to the official script, then you'll give me a massive bonus in my shield check this month. I mean, it's all right. It's only Nathan Thompson. No, I said you didn't need to do any research. What's that? You found a home video of him as a child. Oh, let's have a look.
Want to go for a road, Daddy? Oh, yeah, go for a road, Daddy. Go for a road, Daddy. Baby, I dropped him again. Drop little Nathan.
Damn it, that's the 10th time this week you dropped baby Nathan on his head.
Little guy. Oh, shit, he's facing and lip. He's making a mess.
Anyway, with all the schools closing, Nathan must have loads of spare time, so I'd better go. Yes, Nessa, I love you too. Edit that part out. Where was I? Oh yeah. My evidence. I'm going to show 10 things that are impossible on a flat stationary Earth, but explained perfectly on a globe that is rotating. Let me just check my script. Okay. No flat earther has ever given a suitable answer for this because the stars are a major issue for flat earthers. But the biggest problem is Polaris, which can only be seen from the northern hemisphere and actually disappears from view behind the horizon as you go south of the equator. The position of Polaris in the sky actually helped sailors navigate for centuries using a sextant, as at the poles, the North Star is directly overhead, and for every degree in latitude you move towards the equator, the degree between the horizon and Polaris reduces. This is impossible on a flat and stationary Earth, as you'd be able to see the North Star at all times, and it can't be flirspective or any crap like that, because that would not explain.
Flirspective. Who's got that noise? Who's got that background noise? All right, thank you.
How observers here and here see the same stars, yet can't see the star here. Number 9. Talking about the stars, it's not just the position of them that causes a problem for flirts, but also their motion. Because there is simply no way that on a flat stationary Earth you could have stars that in the northern hemisphere rotate counterclockwise and in the southern hemisphere rotate clockwise. Because the Earth is rotating, the sky appears to rotate. Viewed from above the North Pole, the Earth is rotating counterclockwise. And for an observer on Earth, objects move from east to west. And this is true for both northern and southern hemispheres. So more accurately put, when looking north, objects in the sky move counterclockwise. And when looking south, they move clockwise. Perfectly explained by us sane people. No explanation on Pancake World.
Always with the fucking insult shit, right? Anyway, his whole introduction goes on that dumb shit about, oh, fucking flat earth people are retards and shit. I mean, it's fucking sick. It really is. I'll bring you guys back up here. All right. We'll let this play out the commercial and then I'll bring that back up. Go ahead.
So I'm just thinking that, if I had something to say to rebut that guy, I would have just taken his same opening statement and played it. You know what I mean? That the clown is actually the globe guy getting stuck in the wood chipper because all of their information that they've given out over years and years and years is starting to chip away at them, and they got nothing better to do, and you can't revive them because they just have nothing. They end up doing that. That guy was telling his family story that his daddy wanted to put him on his shoulder and ended up dropping him on his head instead. And that's why he believes in the globe earth. And it's like that first guy that just came on that you had on. That was like the projection of a man baby just by his head. That his head that you could see in his camera, he looked just like a man baby. He was the dude that had the baby bald head and a man baby.
You're breaking up a little bit, Moonbounce. Signal is coming.
How about now?
There, that's much gooder.
Yeah.
That's much gooder. Yeah, it comes right down to all I got though is that they're gonna say insults, and this is really wild because he can't stop interrupting, just like that douche canoe McToon. He can't fucking stop interrupting. He just can't. That's all he does. Mockery, interruption, and fake space bullshit that's not proven. And it's like scientifically impossible. The whole thing is so scientifically unsound that it doesn't even get off the ground, no pun intended, when you pin it right down to the basics. You pin it right down to the basics, and that's it. It wipes all the rest of that shit out because, look, man, you're not going to have that fluid, air, water, none of that bullshit without some kind of a container ever. And if that's your only example is the very thing in question, well, that's just circular logic. We can't use that. That's dumb. It's stupid. Oh, cool jet. Oh, the dude rolled it out without a jet. All right. Well, maybe he'll be back. I don't know why my chat over on StreamYard is not working. but it is over in the other thing. Well,
I know it's weird. I think the StreamYard's having a thing why I was choppy because it booted me. I had to come back.
Wow.
And maybe that's what happened to the other guy that was just there. Maybe it booted him too.
It might be. Well, he can come back. I mean, there's nothing that would stop him unless it's on his end, I guess. I'm going to look on here and see if there's any satellite connection to the ISS. Yeah, we fixed that. We fixed that today. We're in good shape. Let's see what else I got going on over here. All right, we're good to go. I got to kick this up to live. There we go. So yeah, this is crazy. Watch how this guy acts, and of course, listen to the arguments by all means, and go and watch these. Okay, but what I'm focusing on is the behavior. Okay, and why the commonalities of how these guys behave, whether it's McToon, whether it's douchebag, not a Professor Dave, whether it's Simon, somebody pinched me out of their butthole, Dan, any one of those guys, that's the only thing they got. Now, yeah, I will call these guys names. And you know why? Because they're assholes, man. They're just assholes. If they were flat earthers, I'd still think they were fucking assholes. I wouldn't want them around me. These are the type of people I used to stick their heads in fucking toilet if they were just little assholes like that. I hate little assholes. I never have liked those at all. And that's all they've got. But I'll bring this guy back up. See if I can do it that way so that we're down here and there's a bigger view for the audience. So, oops, we don't have sound. Let me just back that up one sec.
So, gentlemen, the floor is all yours.
I mean, to quote Luke Skywalker, everything you just said is wrong.
Well, there you go.
Like literally everything. Your entire argument, Nathan, is I don't understand science, basically. I mean, where to start? Not how fluid dynamics work. Can you tell me how fluid dynamics work? I don't think you can. The higher...
Wait. Can we go through this point by point, Craig? So you want me to tell you how fluid dynamics work?
Your claim is that's not how fluid dynamics work. So can you explain to me exactly how fluid dynamics work and the equations and stuff behind all that?
Okay, I'm here to give you evidence that the Earth is not a rotating ball. I'm not here to break down equations and show you how it all works. You can do that in your
you didn't give any evidence.
You're up again,
Craig. So your question was fluid dynamics. Now, if the Earth rotated, there would be what's called a Coriolis effect. We do not observe.
Okay, what is the Coriolis effect? Please tell me what the Coriolis effect is, because I don't think you know.
I appreciate you asking nicely. I will gladly tell you what the Coriolis effect is.
No, that's what McToon does. Wants to interrupt you and take you off down the sideline. Can you explain what that is? Can you tell me what those are? No, I'm not going to fucking explain what it is or tell you what it is. You're supposed to be an intelligent human being. You fucking should know. That's a bullshit that they pull, man. They're just little kids.
Coriolis effect states, and please don't interrupt me, Craig, because I want to keep track. I've done these debates.
I mean, if you're wrong, I will say you're wrong and correct you.
I just asked you not to interrupt me.
He starts interrupting on making a point of not interrupting him. I mean, this is just, I just wanted to exemplify this is what these guys do. This guy did this for 3 fucking hours. Even when it came down to questions and answers, right? When it came down to questions and answers from people in the chat, he couldn't let the dude answer somebody's question before he was interrupting or being a distraction or just some kind of a dickwad. I mean, I was just fucking amazed, man. I was like, how is this possible that this is actually occurring? People take this guy serious. People take McToon serious. Why? It's not based on the information. They like him because they cut people down. Because that's all the level of their fucking brain is at, man. That's what they're after. They're after somebody, oh, look at how good he cut that guy down. And you'd be surprised how many people say that. They're, you know, not directly, oh, man, he owned you. Yeah, but he didn't give any fucking information. He just repeated a bunch of garbage that somebody told him, mixed it in with a bunch of insults, and then had his little cheering crowd, in other words, you retards, over there cheering him on. You know, and they consider that a win, man. That's idiocracy. That's where we're at, bro.
Yeah, it's like when they do that, it's like, yeah, I destroyed him. And they're like, yeah, you destroyed him. And it's like, well, how did you destroy him? Because if you listen to him, that dude didn't destroy him with any facts. He didn't disprove anything the other person was saying. He was just calling him names, just like that. You don't know math. You don't know how to do math. So I don't have to, you know, and it's just like that dude was doing to him, just saying dumb things and claiming I destroyed you. You've been destroyed. You know, it's like I called him names till I destroyed him.
Yeah, I was I insulted you more than, or you know, said clever insults to you, so therefore I won. What? What the fuck is wrong with people, man? We've been thinking about that here a lot. What do you think it is? Do you think people have actually got that more stupid, or do you think we're just noticing it more?
Well, I think some of it too is, for some reason, this is just coming in my head from things that's happened throughout the day and yesterday. And the mockery thing is, I think a lot of it is too is people are afraid to be meek. You know what I mean? Because it's almost like people will say, you know, meek people, you know, I think it's written somewhere that the meek shall inherit the earth. And people are like, no, the meek get the crap beat out of them. You know what I mean? It's like you can't turn the cheek anymore. You can't be meek. It's almost like people want to stand up against a bully, but yet they don't realize that they're actually bullying themselves and not realizing. They think that they're being strong, but they're actually bullying.
Yeah.
They've actually, I think, overstepped that boundary of protection, because a lot of people I want to protect against a bully. I want to protect other people, and they don't realize that they've overstepped that boundary to that they became that way, and they consider that strength within themselves. My daughter said that to me once. She said, hey, Daddy, you never know how strong you are until all you have left is, and she made a muscle in her arm, right? Because I put her into karate and stuff that way she could have some kind of a balance in her life of defending herself sometimes without having to step over that line to defend yourself. But she came to that mentality too. You never know how strong you are until all you have left is your muscles. But, you know, me trying to get across to her, you can't use your muscle, right? If you lose control of your brain muscle, then you end up doing the wrong thing.
Peter, you want to respond to that? I'm going to pop out of the studio and back in and see if I can make this chat work over here.
What's the question?
He's talking. We're talking about what these tactics of what they're using, and
the Globe channels. Most of those guys, the bigger ones, anyways, they're all justifying their paychecks.
Right.
So
Some people say that you can't. It's hard to convince somebody any different than they think if their paycheck depends on it. You're not gonna be able to convince them. They're not even going to want to be convinced if their paycheck depends on it.
Absolutely. These people like that roofie nutcase that comes on here, he's just justifying his paycheck. That's all he's doing. You know, until proven otherwise, they don't spend hours and hours and hours on this stuff when they're not getting paid. Of course, they're not going to admit to anything. You know? They're justifying their paychecks. They come on this channel or other channels to spend hours, waste your time, waste all the good people in here, their time. It's all distraction, justify their paychecks. And they're sickos. They're nut jobs. You know, those debates, you've heard one, you've heard them all. The paid shills, globies, they're not going to admit to anything. You know, And like when it comes to the earth moving or not moving, the only person who can admit that is themselves. I had to go out, I went outside and I stood on the earth. It's a solid object. You stand on it. Either it's moving or it's not. There's no third option. It doesn't spin on Tuesdays and it's stationary on Fridays. So the only debate is with the individual. It's in between their own ears and their own soul. So if you can't, if the individual can't admit that, they're never going to admit to anything because no one can admit it for them. And these paid guys, they're not worth. I don't know. To me, they're not worth the blood pressure, the headache, to sit around and argue with them. I don't even like listening to it. They're never going to admit to nothing. You know, anybody who's honest about it, like we've all been honest about it, we've been honest with ourselves, and we can say, wow, you know what? The Earth is stationary. There is something to it. There could be something to this. You know, listen to a lot of those guys are getting paid. They're not honest people. They're disgusting. They're fork-tongued. They're Satanists. They believe in a false creation, a false God, all for a paycheck.
I have to agree.
It's like going into a crack house trying to convince everybody they need help because they're smoking crack all day. That's insanity. That's absolute insanity. It doesn't. They're not worth it. You know, there's too many good people in flat Earth. I've never met a bad person in flat Earth that doesn't have the heart, the soul, and the mind to explore things and discuss them and talk about them. They're good, honest people. You know, they speak with their soul and their hearts, and they're not afraid to have a conversation. You know, arguing's not a conversation. It's just insanity as far as I'm concerned. You don't get anywhere with them. No one's gonna go into a crack house and convince everybody they need a 12-step program. It's just not going to happen. If the people want help, they're going to get help. Just like anyone who looks into 9/11, you know, it's the same thing. You know, it's you admit, wow, hey, look, there is something wrong here. And there's legitimate everyday people that they literally are spiritually ill. They won't admit to anything, you know. But then there's these group of people who it's their paycheck. That's how they feed their families, with these paychecks, and they're teaching that to themselves. And I mean, it's you know, Satanism. These people are sick individuals. I can't help them.
Some of it's like psychotic. You find them psychotic individuals. I mean, because that's something that I found out in the last 4 years or something, is that the things that got turned loose on people and the decisions people had to make and the decisions they had to make about their family, it's almost like somebody opened the actual lid and showed how truly psychotic people could actually be, how quick they'll turn on another person, how quick they put themselves above other people. It's almost like we got to see a level of psychoticism I think I have been able to see in the human race that was like there was a lid on that before. Now there's a lot of people that like get put into a little bit of power now, you know, and it's like they just going berserk in that power thing, and you can just find that mentality in them that they're not really for good, even though their claim is they're for good.
And you know, and another sliver of the pie too. It wouldn't shock me, especially these online trolls and stuff like that, and even people, you know, some of these globe shills on, you know, on YouTube or whatnot. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if some of these people are in trouble, and that this is how they're reducing their sentence so they can stay out of jail.
You know,
it wouldn't shock me.
You ain't the first one to think that, brother.
Right.
Because here's the funny thing, right? So many of these same channels are the same ones that go after people that are exercising First Amendment auditors. They go after cop watchers. Right. And they go basically all the shit that they think could be a threat to the status quo, to the control system. And I've thought that same thing. I really have. That they somehow were compromised into this, because I can't see somebody. And here's the thing too, if it's such an obvious fact of what they are saying, why would they need to have full-time censorship and combating of it? Why would they have to be doing that? I mean, they openly went to Congress and asked the alphabet agencies what steps they have taken to slow down the people talking about flat earth. Why would Congress be upset about people talking about that? See? So it starts making you think, what the hell? You mean your whole YouTube is just going about on after flat earthers, and the only thing you really have is mockery and your fake bullshit?
Right.
And it's just to feed those sheep-brained people that think that, oh, look at that guy, the Jerry Springer crowd. He insulted that guy better than the other guy, so he was a winner.
Yeah, they're just I don't know. I have a hard time listening to it. I don't like listening to it. I usually just shut off. I've listened to enough of it. I've been involved long enough to. It's like, Twitter. I like using Twitter to spread, mainly flat Earth stuff. But as soon as every once in a while, if I'm in the mood, I'll play, But it doesn't last long. I usually just end up blocking them.
Right.
I'm not justifying their paycheck, their behavior, their reduced sentencing, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't like being an enabler. Why enable that behavior?
Exactly.
I can't. I'm not going to do it. It's low energy. It's really a lot of sickness. There's just flat Earth alone. There's incredible people in the flat Earth community, no matter what angle you come from. If they're biblical, or they just love doing YouTube, or they're just on Twitter. And there's so many good people, And I don't know. It just, to entertain those fools in any shape, form, or fashion is just low energy for me. I'm just, I'm not interested in it. I don't go hang around bars or crack houses. I don't do that.
Right.
It's the same behavior.
Well, what I do is I study. I love to study behavior, because when I can find commonalities, like I have there, what we were just discussing, and then even incorporate those commonalities into basic tactics that they all employed, that actually could suggest some kind of training in this.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I got a ton of that training on Twitter the first couple of years. I would argue just to see how they argue. And then you see the patterns.
Yep.
It's the same cut and paste bullshit, the same derogatory comments, or these fucking idiots like Roofy. I mean, that dude's got kids in his house. And it's like, you know what, dude? You are a mental, emotional, spiritual child abuser. I don't give him the time of fucking day, dude. It's just, that's how he feeds his kids. He's a sick puppy, dude.
Well,
that guy's a sick puppy.
I'm just gonna put it like this: autism or not, right? A girl that age who refuses to wear pants around the house, I don't give a shit, man. That's just unacceptable. That's weird. Okay. Autism or not.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care. That right there is just completely like, no, bro, what is going on there with you? And this is, you think your thinking is rational when really, and now I'm not telling him how he should raise his house or anything else like that, but I'm just saying, from an onlooker's standpoint, I'm like, all right, there's something really not right about that.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, I'm not accusing him of anything else like that, other than being overindulgent over a handicap. That's the only thing I'm saying, is that's an overindulgence to a handicap. And I have to wonder, how sound is the logic of somebody that would be that overindulgent to something like that?
Right. Exactly. Just, and it's, we've, I know I've learned a lot through this whole spiritual awakening process over the last decade and plus, you know. But it's just it sticks out like a sore thumb for me, and it's the energy is so friggin' low. I don't.
Yeah.
Bad vibes. It's all bad vibes for me.
Take a look.
I just don't like it.
Take a look at this bird here. And I'm sorry, folks, I'm not, I know I'm usually pretty bad with chat, but for some reason, this chat over here on StreamYard isn't feeding through properly. I don't know what's going on. So I have to keep going back and forth over here to my stream. Oh, there went something. Is everybody back? Everything good?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, this was one of them that he did. YouTube has been horrible today, especially with commercials. Oh my God, they're awful. All right, so let me pause that. Let me present that screen. And this was the guy, Aaron Raw. This Nathan, this guy right up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's reducing his 10-year sentence.
That guy's high energy. You can see it in his face.
Yeah, bro. I think toward the end of the thing, this guy the guy on the right already had rage quit and got pissed off. Yeah. He rage quit and left off of the show. And then he was answering comments. Nathan was, and at some point he said something, and he said something about that dude looked like some kind of a cave dwelling bat eater.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, that's fucking up. But yeah, you'll see this same tactic with this guy. Watch this.
Consider hitting that subscribe button if you'd like reminders of future debates like this. So very excited to get into it. What we are going to do is we're going to have Nathan go first, and he's going to have about 5 to 10 minutes. It's flexible depending on what the speaker wants to use of that time. Then we will have Aaron going with his kind of opening statement or position speech. And then we will have the 50 to 60 minutes or so of open dialogue, as well as roughly 30 minutes of Q&A. So want to say, if you happen to have a question, feel free to tag me in the live chat with @ModernDayDebate. Makes it easier for me to find every question in there. And Super Chat is also an option, in which case it'll bump your question to the top of the list. We really appreciate that support. And so with that, very excited to want to first introduce our guests. Really special, guys. This is one that we were like, oh my goodness, it's actually happening. Unbelievable. So I have linked both of the speakers in the description. If you'd like to hear more from them, folks, I highly encourage you. You can click on those links. Very convenient. And so first, want to just say, hey, welcome back, Nathan. It's been a while, and thanks so much for being with us. If you want to share, what could people expect to find at your link?
Well, on my channel, you'll find just about everything under the sun. And I mean that literally, but it's an emphasis on flat earth activism and biblical cosmology. So cruise on over there. Please subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thanks for having me on your channel, James. I'm a Patreon. I think this is maybe my 10th or 12th debate. So I appreciate you having me here again. And I look forward to it tonight. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. And very excited to introduce Aaron Raw, who is glad to have you back, Aaron. I've had several legendary ones now. So we're excited for this. Want to let you know, folks, his link is in that description box down below as well, in case you'd like to hear more. And so thanks for coming back, Aaron. And if you'd be willing to share what people could expect to find at your link, that was a great opportunity. Thanks so much. Oh, I think we might have you. Let's see.
Yep, I'm good.
Perfect.
I'm a full-time activist, and so I mean I do this all day, and this is my only means of income. So I need all the support I can get. Patreon.com/ARONRA. Thank you.
So he's a full-time activist for flat Earth. Come on, man.
Against flat Earth.
You bet. Thanks.
Or
so
I mean,
much.
against flat Earth. Yeah, that's what I meant. I mean, for globe. Are you shitting me? Why would they need that? It's so obvious, right? Remember, it's obvious.
Yeah.
Fucking kidding me.
He's not just against flat Earth. He's against like God and all of that too, I believe.
Yeah. He's with that Bridge the Divide character too. He's crowd.
Yeah,
too.
it's his job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're minions. They're minions.
Yeah, they are. And you know, like Nathan, he's got more patience than I'll ever have. He's been doing this for years, these debates, and
oh yeah,
he's so knowledgeable and fluent with the topic, and the dude's got a lot of patience. I wouldn't have the patience. My patience wears thin just listening to it, let alone being directly involved. I just don't have the patience.
As yeah, I'm right with it. I'm right there with you. I'm right there.
Yeah, I'm glad he does it, but it's not for me. You know, like
No. I mean, well, you know, I like it, and I'll tell you why. Because these guys don't realize what they're doing over here. These guys over here don't know what they're doing. Every time they do that, especially with these truth vibrations that are going off, and people see what they're really about. Right? Like we're breaking down what's his real game. All he's got is mockery, condescending bullshit, and insults. That's it. You know, based around some bullshit that somebody told him. You know, it's fucking ridiculous.
And it's all the same. I swear they just all use the same cut and paste.
Of course.
Comes from one, whatever they do. It's, yeah.
And as we've shown here, all you have to do is take it right down to the fucking basics and it ruins all the rest. I don't give a shit about your stuff in the sky. We ain't even going to get to talk about that yet because we got to know what that stuff in the sky is.
Yeah.
Right? All right. So this
they're not honest with what they're standing on.
No, not for a
and it's not moving. You know?
I know. They're so sad with that shit, you know? And it's like, and I was thinking about that after Lucky Haskins said that on his channel, on his video the other day. I was like, you know what, man? That's exactly, he's on that, man. That is it. They want to try to trap you into doing this shit. And one of the things they really want to trap you into is making a claim. Yeah. Because then they can fucking go, oh, can you explain what you mean by a container? Can you explain what containment means? You know, fuck you. You know what it means.
It's just, you
know, that kind of shit. And I didn't make a claim. That's the whole thing. I didn't make a claim. I stated an immutable fact. Okay. Right. And it's going to remain immutable until somewhere we can demonstrate such an impossibility occurring. Right. Okay? And if you're going to use your circular logic of, well, you're in it, and that's your only example of it, kiss off. That's not good enough. That's not how science works. All right. So go blow bubbles someplace. And we're going to play like in the NASA pool, maybe. But my God. Oops. What's Deborah Clark is here. Good to see you, sweetheart. Deborah, you know what? Because I have an opening. For you. Because Lucky Haskins. ZXL Master got promoted tonight to he is a managing moderator. And so now I had an opening for a regular moderator. And Deborah Clark is one of my longtime subscribers and viewers. And I think she would fit the bill well. She gets all nobilities, patents, and privileges along with the title. And we're going to see how she handles it. All right, Deborah. Don't let me down, sweetie. I just talked you up real good now. Wonder Woman. That's right, Martine. She is. She's a very, very nice person. So I felt it good in my heart to be able to do that. So anyways, just listen to how this guy talks. He's just a douche canoe.
Well, kick it into opening statement mode. And so, Nathan Thompson, I have the clock set for you. The floor is all yours.
Thank you, James. I do want to thank Arn for being here. I appreciate that. I also want to thank the chat for being here, giving me your time and your ear. Anyone who super chats the channel, I will answer all those questions later on when we get there. I promise you I've stayed for hours answering questions. Also, anyone who shares the show, big shout out to you. I'm a firm believer that sharing is caring, and it will be a good show tonight. Just so you guys know, before we got started, Arn refused to go first, even though all the textbooks, all the mainstream science, all the Hollywood movies depict a globe model. We give $50 million a day to NASA to depict a globe model, but for some reason he had a problem going first. And he mentioned that all his income is based on his activism. So if he was wrong about this, guys, that would have a serious effect on his income. And I feel bad that you have to defend the heliocentric model, Arn, because you're going to lose this debate. I've debated maybe 10,000 people. I looked for debates you've done online. I could not find one. I did find a video, however, where a Glober came on your channel crying about how he lost a lawsuit in court because he could not prove the Earth's a globe. I see you shaking your head. Yes, I saw that video. So I've debated NASA employees, PhD astrophysicists, land surveyors who for 20 years have been land surveying and don't know how much Earth should curve downward tangent to our feet. I think that's embarrassing. But here's why it's noble for me to beat Arn in the debate tonight, guys, because he's going to learn more from losing this debate than he would from winning. Okay, people always mistake me as a flat earth idiot. That's fine, because we learn from our mistakes, guys. Love is patient and kind. It's not jealous, boastful, proud, or rude, does not demand its own way, is not irritated, keeps no record of anything anyone ever does wrong. It does not rejoice in lies, but rejoices in the truth. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures all things. And Arn, I do love you. You are made in the image of God, buddy. So I feel bad that you're wrong. And
you're going to get the circle of death here for a second.
I'm going to have to demolish you in this debate. I tried to do some research, find out your positions. You didn't have any debates, but you did have a discussion with Jaron from Jaronism, where you asserted a bottom-up fallacy. Apparently, you don't know things disappear bottom-up on a flat surface. 2, you think things disappearing bottom first is empirical proof of Earth curve. I thought that was funny. You straw man a model approximately a dozen times, which is a hat trick fallacy. So straw man, then you're begging the question, and you're also doing a reification fallacy because it's not empirical evidence, it's not science, it's a model. So reification fallacy, begging the question, and a straw man, hat trick fallacy all in one. You are like the Wayne Gretzky of proving Earth is a globe, Aaron. You also said, would the sun be out all day on a flat Earth? Now, apparently you don't understand. Sometimes the sun is out all day in the north. Now, it disappears due to perspective, angular resolution limits, atmospheric magnification, disappears bottom first because that's how things disappear on a flat surface. But if you increase in altitude, the sun and the moon, which I've done this observation myself on my channel, they disappear into small dots above the horizon, Arn. So that would not work on a heliocentric model.
What in the
With
fuck,
the sun
man?
and moon being the size and the distance that they are. Now, you guys
Don't know why we've got this fucking problem going on here.
assert
Everything
that
is
the
going.
sun and moon setting is proof that we're on a spinning ball, but they don't even intersect the marine horizon. I've also done a test myself. Stars do not intersect the marine horizon. So another test I've done is the green flash. I've observed the sun setting where the top of the sun turns green for a moment. Now, if the sun was going below the horizon, the red, orange, yellow color spectrum inverts, similar to the prism on the front of the Pink Floyd album. The red, the orange, the yellow are above the green, the purple, and the blue. But when the light is coming from above a prism, the green is above the red, orange, yellow spectrum. I've also taken real video footage of stars that I can show you. Also hundreds of star trails and just numerous observations. Couldn't find anything of the sort on Orange channel. I don't even know why he's here debating this. I don't think he's qualified. But just so you guys know, science has been hijacked. Ever since we were little kids, they taught us science is an empirical method. When we do science, we prove things. The very next day you walk into school and they say, look, you're on a spinning tilted ball.
I believe that what this guy over here on the right is doing is what's known as kvetching. Can you see him? He's like having uncontrollable little spasms, you know? Oh, okay. They can't contain themselves. They cannot fucking contain themselves.
In space with a molten iron core hotter than the surface of the sun, and you're moving 20 million miles a day through the galaxy because it's science, right? And that's what we're all taught as little kids. The problem is that that's been hijacked, okay? Science has been hijacked. It is an empirical method for proving the cause of an effect, but there is no science to support the heliocentric model. We'll get into that in a second. Now, real quick, could I share my screen, James? Great, thank you.
This kid's on the ball, man.
Yeah, he is. He's got like 100 facts in 100 seconds.
I know, right? He's just laying it right out there. He's just like, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. And watch. What do you think is going to be the next recourse? This guy here is going to have to start with an insult. I guarantee it.
Yep.
He'll get upset.
So I'm just going to share the whole desktop. First thing I want to talk about is how far can we see, ladies and gentlemen? If the Earth is a globe 24,901 miles around, as the heliocentric model would assert, there would be downward curve tangent to your feet in all directions. Now, for example, this is a famous photo Joshua Nowicki took from the other side of Chicago. I've been to the lake. I've done this observation, not from Joshua Nowicki, but from New Buffalo, which is approximately 10 miles shorter, but he actually got a clearer picture than I could on that day. And they said that because it was so clear on this day on the news that this was a mirage. Now, they want you to believe when it's clear and you can see really far, that's distortion. That's miraging. But when things can't be seen, that's Earth curve. Now, that is the opposite of any logical thinking, period. But next, you have all these lighthouses, ladies and gentlemen, should be obscured by 329 feet over here in France, visibility 28 miles away. Okay, should be obscured. There's multiple. I can show you San Jacinto right here. Now, Globers would say, oh, look, you can't see it in this picture. But the problem is once you flip on the infrared, you can see much farther. So the first argument the Earth isn't a globe is that we see far. The second argument the Earth isn't a globe is called specular reflections. So a specular reflection means reflection of light where the angle of reflected light equals the angle of incident light, but on the opposite side of the surface normal. It occurs on mirrors, for example. Now, I don't know if you guys know how mirrors are made, but they use molten metal. They melt the liquid glass on top. That's how they get bubbles to float to the top. And also mirrors and glass are perfectly flat. It's a property of fluid statics. When large bodies of water are at rest, they lay level and horizontal to the container. So first argument, Earth's not a globe. Second argument, do we spin 1,039 miles an hour? That's what heliocentric model asserts. At the equator, we spin, it's the cause of day and night, and we're moving approximately 1,039, 1,040 miles an hour. Problem with this, how would a spinning Earth affect our atmosphere? It's two options, guys. It would either move as one cohesive synchronized body, which is what I've heard Aaron say in his discussion with Jaron. Wasn't a debate, it was a discussion. But he says the atmosphere moves with the Earth, which is denying mainstream science. It's denying what Neil deGrasse Tyson asserts. It's denying what we were taught as kids, which is that the Earth moves under sniper bullets. The Earth moves under a Sagnac interferometer. Bob proved it on Netflix. But the problem with that, guys, is if the Earth moves under those, it would have to move under everything else. And if the atmosphere moves with the Earth, well, there's a problem with that. That's not how fluid dynamics work. Okay?
Right.
The atmosphere, this is what mainstream science doesn't even say happens, but I just want to cover it because it was Aaron's position earlier. If the atmosphere moves with the Earth, that would necessitate that the atmosphere goes faster and faster the more you increase in altitude. Now, great, there is no force that would cause things to increase in velocity as they increase in altitude, because he's asserting that as a hot air balloon or a helicopter or a drone, an insect, smoke from a volcano, as it goes up in the air, it's traveling faster and faster to maintain its tangential vector above the Earth. Now, that is crazy because that's not how fluid dynamics work. But two, that's not even what mainstream science teaches. So we really could move on from this over to the blender effect, which is what his religion teaches. We have an atmospheric blender. There would be a drag in the atmosphere. Things would move separately from the surface of the Earth. This is why Neil deGrasse Tyson asserts Earth moves under a field goal from his Twitter with 6 million followers. Yep. Okay, so you've got 5 miles per hour at the park is fun, 60 miles per hour, intense, you could lose your lunch. Aaron will assert 1,040 miles per hour on a spinning ball is just a walk in the park, you feel nothing unless you're drunk. Okay, finishing up my last argument, could the atmosphere even exist without a physical container? Guys? So you have an infinite vacuum of space next to our pressurized atmosphere. This is a violation of entropy. It's a violation of second law of thermodynamics. It's like asking, can a tire rim have air pressure around it without a tire while in a vacuum? So those are my arguments. The Earth's not spinning, it's not a ball, and we don't live in space. Right, thanks so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
We are going to kick.
All right, this will come back in a second, but I'm going to pause it anyways.
He's good.
God damn right, boy. He knows what he's talking about. I mean, there ain't no doubt about
over
that.
To Aaron for his opening as well. And so thanks so much, everybody, for your questions in the live chat. We will try to get to as many questions as humanly possible. We do appreciate your support. So thanks so much for that. Nathan, I'm going to...
There's one simple vision hack anyone can use to improve.
Every fucking time. That's probably what that wheel of fucking death is about. They're trying to put goddamn commercials in all the time.
There you go. All set. And now switching it back over to the dialogue box. So Aaron, thanks so much. The floor is all yours.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. Let's see how this counter goes. Now keep track. How much is condescending? How much of it is you don't know science and appeals to authority, along with just a shitload of insults. Watch this shit.
I agreed to have this debate on the condition that my opponent provide a written explanation of the flat Earth model and that he provide a map of his pizza planet. And he gave me the map, which we'll have fun with shortly, but he couldn't provide a model because there isn't one, nor can there be because there is no reality to the position he's espousing. Instead, he sent me a video of one of his prior presentations wherein he made fun of rational people asking to see his model. So he knows he should have one and that he doesn't, or else he would have sent it to me. So he pretends that science doesn't have a model either. But yes, we certainly do, several of them, and they all concord with each other. Although he didn't meet the minimum criteria to have a debate, I opted to do it anyway and use that fact as a point in my favor because in his presentation, he demonstrated profound ignorance, which we'll get to in our interaction, that reveals that he has not investigated his position any further than concocting pseudoscience apologetics, just like any other religious fundamentalist science denialist would. William Lane Craig is often touted to be the best of the Christian apologists, and if he's the best they've got, then you got to wonder how it is that Christianity still exists. Among the many things he got wrong is this. He said, should a conflict arise between the witness of the Holy Spirit to the fundamental truth of the Christian faith and beliefs based on the arguments and evidence, then it is the former which must take precedence over the latter. In other words, take the word of the fairy tale over the fact. That is a grossly dishonest position which all religious apologetics necessarily must be. I've known so many believers who say that the Bible is the only source of truth in our world, let everything else be a lie, meaning that they're going to make believe man-made mythology, even when it is disproved or impossible, and they will never admit when they're wrong. Jeremiah 8:8 warns us that the lying pen of the scribes has made it into a lie, yet believers hold to that lie and dismiss the actual factual truth as if that was the lie. The truth is what the facts are, not whatever else we might rather make believe instead. But have you noticed that everyone who calls themselves a truther holds to a host of incredible conspiracy theories they can't show the truth of? Because we live in a post-truth world where our identities are too often determined by whatever we pretend. If it's a religious belief, then it becomes who you are and you will not be reasoned out of it. Faith doesn't allow that maybe we're wrong in whole or in part, and that maybe what the sacred fables say isn't necessarily the truth, and that you shouldn't believe them all without question, reservation, or reason. Nor is there any way to find the truth, because we're told that we have to believe in the lie, that the tall tales of imaginative storytellers take precedence over the cold, hard facts that stand against them. In that mindset, the truth doesn't matter anyway. Who cares about finding out what's really true and how it works? It's much more fun and popular nowadays to question reality, as my opponent himself put it, using those exact words. So the wanna believers pretend that wisdom is foolish and only the fools are wise, as if every ignorant opinion is just as valid, if not more so, than one informed by demonstrable expertise with predictive theory to back it up. If your position has no working model and makes no uniquely supported predictions, cannot be falsified because it just denies all contradictory data, and can only be defended by apologetics, then by definition, it is only a belief and not scientific in any respect. Faith has defense mechanisms to justify belief without sufficient reason and defend belief against all reason. And those defense mechanisms are very often logical fallacies, arguments that are logically invalid. Every logical fallacy has been used as an argument for God, and every argument for God is a logical fallacy. For example, one that is ubiquitous throughout religion is question begging, the circular argument routing back to an assumed conclusion, where you simply don't question what you believe because you believe it. The argument from ignorance is the notion that something should be considered true until proven false, which often involves another fallacy, shifting the burden of proof, which always comes up in religious debates. You can't prove there's no God. But the burden of proof is on the one making the positive claim. Positive claims require positive evidence, and that what is asserted without evidence may be dismissed without evidence. Personal incredulity is another logical fallacy that I don't understand it, therefore it can't be true, and that accounts for much of my opponent's argument, and we'll get to that shortly too. Remember that arguments are not evidence, especially not when they're logically invalid. If you combine the arguments from ignorance and incredulity with question begging, you get the God of the gaps, the erroneous assumption that whatever you think science cannot explain somehow becomes proof of God.
So y'all see what he's doing here, right? He's trying to make it that it's a religion.
Yeah.
Okay. That it's a religion. Every bit of what he's saying right there is he's trying to make it. He's just, it's based in religion, so it's religious, and therefore we have to discard it. You see, this guy.
I think what he's doing is he's so bent on attacking a God that he's losing control of even what this discussion or this actually thing is about. He's like lost control within himself. It's almost like he's something speaking, but it can't control. He wants to attack a God more than he wants to attack any facts or anything that Nathan is saying in actuality in that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe you're onto something with that, my man.
Absolutely, because he hasn't gone yet at anything that Nathan's brought up.
Nope, not one bit.
Nothing. It's all
equating it to a religion.
It's all a segue.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny how his last name's Ra. What is his mother the Eye of Ra?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think he's on the Klingon High Council.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, he looks like he's about to pass judgment on Commander Pike for something.
And that's fine. I've heard this. his, oh, it's a religion. And, I've heard, it's like, I always think of, accuse the other side of what you're doing yourself. It's the same tactic.
Yeah. That's in the Communist Manifesto as well.
Yeah, I was going to say it's right out of the Nazi playbook.
Yeah.
Right, because he's talking about, see, he just got done discussing to authority. And that's why I think that he switched. He is the God because you understand that he's exactly talking what the globe does. They always appeal to authority. It's always an appeal to an authority. The globe is an appeal to authority all the time. How do you know it's a globe? Because authority says so. So he's lost control within himself for what he's there. What he's there for isn't what the guy in the bottom glass and the Nathan guy is there for.
No.
They're there for different reasons.
Yeah.
Well, see, now James is down there. He's just a moderator, and I've watched him, and I do see a little bit of bias in him. I really do. He's supposed to be a non-biased moderator, but in the one that I'm in the middle of watching, I have it queued up for later. I see him being a little bit biased in that one. But you can see this guy is driven by a dark spirit, man. I can see that right off the bat.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
And it's so funny because when I came to all this, the heliocentric theory, it's like, the sun god Helios.
Yeah.
And so they fail the first commandment right out of the gate.
Well, he didn't last, I don't think, about 45 minutes before he raged out, man. So there was about another, where are we at now? About another 20 minutes before he rolls gone and he gets mad.
Let's see the mad part.
Oh, we will. This is great how he's going to rebut, though. Nathan's pretty good, man. This kid's got it.
If you can convince yourself the earth is flat, just like the Bible says, then science can't explain a flat earth. That's why the science deniers can't produce a model for it. They don't want one either because they think that unexplained means explained by God magic. Miracles. Same thing. Another fallacy that commonly comes up in religious arguments is that is false equivalence, combining projection and tu quo qui to establish the...
He's practiced this. This is memorized. What he's saying right there is a memorized monologue. I guarantee.
It's his day job. It's his day job.
It's a sales pitch.
Yeah.
It's a fucking sales pitch. Listen.
The illusion that you're just as bad as we are and we're just as good as you are. And that's when the religious position claims to be scientific and pretends that science is based on faith, as if any interest, position, or opinion that you hold for any logical valid, factual, indicative reason can be diminished and dismissed as just another religion, and therefore just as bad as those who pretend that their faith is based on evidence. So they call evolution an ism, and they repeat the lie that scientific theories are religious beliefs. That's not true because every religion that is universally accepted as such by both adherents and critics is a faith-based belief system, which posits the notion that a supernatural essence itself somehow survives the death of the physical body to continue on in some other form. Absolutely none of that applies to any scientific theories like heliocentricity and geosphericity, as compared to the empty void where flat earth theory would be if there was any truth to their position. But they can't explain how anything works. Why is the shadow of the Earth on the moon always consistent with a sphere and not a disk? Why is everything we see in space obviously a sphere? Do you really think that Jupiter is smaller than the moon? And what holds the moon up if it cannot orbit the planet the way we know it really does? 250 years before our current calendar, Eratosthenes devised an ingenious way to determine the sphericity of the Earth and to calculate its diameter. But we're going to pretend that that didn't happen, as if it can't be duplicated. It's not like we could put a GoPro on a weather balloon and see the curvature of the Earth. Well, somebody actually did do that, but we're going to pretend that they didn't, because we live in a world where fantasy is presented as reality and reality is dismissed as fake news. The greatest achievement in American history is the greatest achievement in human history, but we're just going to ignore that too and pretend that we never went to the moon. As if we don't have satellites we can look up and see and predict when they'll be where, so we know they're there and what they are. Galileo and Kepler also worked out mathematical models showing that the sun had to be at the center of the solar system and not the Earth, but we're going to ignore all that too. Sir Isaac Newton's theory of gravity has been tested and demonstrated experimentally, but it had one critical flaw, being that it couldn't account for the orbit of Mercury around the sun. Einstein's theory of relativity could address that, and it was effectively proven twice, once by observing stars behind the sun via gravitational lensing during the solar eclipse in 1919, and again with a confirmation of gravity waves or gravitational waves in 2016. But we're going to pretend that gravity doesn't exist and that the stars are all smaller than the moon. And even though every astronomer knows better and can show how they know that.
You hear all this shit that he's saying, it's sort of like, oh, we're just going to pretend that that's not true. So you really think that the moon is bigger than Jupiter? Ha 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 ha. Would you know, it's like, wait a minute, how do you know any of this fucking bullshit, right?
But it doesn't matter how many planets we plant probes on, nor how many extrasolar planets we discover, because we're going to pretend that it's all a grand unified conspiracy of every government working together to conceal the secret truth, that there is no outer space, and that Earth is just a flat map divided into 4 quadrants spread out on a disc-shaped stool erected on columns and covered by a giant crystal dome, just like it says in our favorite folklore, written by ignorant primitives before they knew better. And all of that can be disproved so easily, but not when you really, really want to believe.
Thanks so much, Aaron. We will kick it into...
God damn, you see how desperate these motherfuckers at YouTube are? See how desperate they're getting?
Open discussion mode. So
wow,
we will...
Oh, you don't want to watch my commercial? I'll put the circle of death up on you. Ha 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 ha. Shout out to my agent. You know, you people think I'm kidding when I say that, right? You people think that I'm kidding around when I say that. Am I locked up? Am I good?
Yeah, you're
how
good.
Far we get. I'm confident this can be civil.
So y'all think I'm kidding around when I do that, when I say shout out to my agent? No, I really mean that. I know that they're monitoring me, and I'm just saying, hey, I hope you enjoy the show. You know, enjoy yourselves, right? And, you know, we know what's going on, bro. It's cool.
And so thanks so much, gentlemen. The floor is all yours.
I would have thought it'd be confident, would have been civil too, except that he opened up by insulting me.
Aaron, I'm sorry you felt insulted. I just said you were going to lose the debate, and so far your opening was a bunch of gish-galloping and rhetoric about how the Earth can't be a globe. We know or Earth can't be flat. We know it's a globe for 1,000 years because of sticks and shadows. Now, you are familiar with Neil
and photographs from space and moonwalking and a space station currently in orbit around the planet. But you just ignore everything. We just all the.
I'm not ignoring anything. Can we go over all these one by one, Aaron, before you get triggered, please? You know, take a drink.
I've been warned that you were going to try to enrage me, that you were that type. So, but don't worry, I've dealt with your type many times, so it's not going to happen.
How enrage him? You're going to try to enrage me because you won't let me interrupt you. What a fucking tool, man. And that's the same thing as that goddamn, and it's more of that projection. Oh, I've been told that you're going to try and enrage me. No, that's what he's doing, right? That's their game, but they're going to accuse you of doing what they do.
Yep.
Listen,
the tactic. Yep.
Yeah, it's satanic fucking communist bitches.
The kind who asked for evidence because you didn't support it and bring any.
The type who tries to inflame his opponent.
It's all right. Aaron, let's move straight to question and answer for me and you back and forth. Do you have
okay, good. What holds the moon up?
Do you have what holds the moon up?
Yeah.
Okay, so the moon has to be held up, Aaron? You beg the question that something has to hold the moon up. Now, on
your model, in your attempt at a model, which doesn't work, so it isn't a model, but yeah, you have a moon and a sun that both stay suspended over the Earth somehow. Now, we know in the gravity model, heliocentricity, geosphericity, and gravity and relativity and all that, we understand how these things work. But
no, you don't, Aaron.
Well, yeah, we do. We understand the balance of how orbits are maintained, and so you don't need to hold up the moon.
So let me get this right, Aaron.
In your story,
the moon would come down on a flat Earth, but with gravity and everything in space, it just means it maintains a perfect orbit, right, Aaron?
The moon stays locked in a gravitational tug. So that technically it's not actually orbiting the Earth, but I'm not going to get into that right now. The moon and the Earth are orbiting in a sense each other. They're held by this gravitational pull, and there's already motion, so it's going to keep up perpetually. But in your attempt at a model, it's not that way. You have this giant orb weighing however many tons you want it to be that's just suspended and moving slowly over the planet. So you've got this big disk.
You're going to assume the moon has weight. You're going to assume the moon has weight and that it's physical, and then that's why it doesn't fall down on a flat Earth. Well, let me tell you, Aaron.
What other things fall down if the moon doesn't?
I know you've got to censor me because that's what YouTube and all your controllers do that push your mainstream rhetoric. You've got to censor me, okay? So please, if you're going to talk to me, Aaron, let me talk, okay? You're censoring me.
What do you mean controllers?
You're censoring me, Aaron. You're not letting me talk.
Well, you're lying about me. I'm not going to let that happen.
What did I lie about you?
I don't have controllers.
Boy, they really get fucking triggered when you mention their controllers or about them being paid, or that it's so obvious that this is part of something bigger than just some asshole with a channel. You know, boy, methinks the lady doth protest way too fucking much, man. Come on. Every one of them's got that tell. You know, it's like reading the Psalms to a fucking demon. They just freak the hell out, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't have a religion.
The people who told you Earth is a spinning ball because you haven't tested it, Aaron.
I have tested it. I have tested it.
Where
I have. I've been all over. I've been all over the world. You look at your map. Look at your globe. Or not
okay,
globe.
so your tests are looking at my map.
What's that?
Your tests are looking at my map.
And being at various places on it, yes.
Oh, okay.
So look at your polar projection map.
So
there's so much wrong with that.
Aaron's test to prove Earth is a spinning globe is that he's been places.
Yep.
Cool story, Aaron. Do you have any evidence?
Let's get specific about that. Let's get specific about that. So let's look at your polar projection map. Look at Australia on your polar projection map.
We're transferring, you're bouncing around topics.
We're going right to a topic, a specific topic you asked for. Let's do it. So let's look at the specific. Look at your polar projection map.
One second. I hate to interrupt.
Look at your map.
I hate to interrupt.
It's your map. It's your. You want to.
I hate doing this. So right now I hate it. You guys, you're on mute, so they can't hear you. It's just through OBS. And so just for a moment, just to kind of jump back on track, is maybe there's something we can do in terms of kind of covering one topic and then jumping over to the other. So is there? So.
Circle out on me.
You have a problem with that? It's the map you gave me.
To his first question, James, is he just going to keep rambling on with another topic? He asked me why the moon.
It's not another. It's the same topic.
He asked me why the moon doesn't fall towards.
You
Earth.
said I didn't.
So see, he didn't like being pinned into that. See, he didn't like being pinned into that. He wanted to make it sound ridiculous, and it's like, wait a second, what are you talking about? It's okay in your world, but not in this one. What? I don't get it. Look at how mean looking he looks.
Yeah. He's spitting venom soon.
What's going on? I'm just checking out the chat. I forgot.
I didn't test the model. I did test the model.
Because he got to ask the first question, I think it's fair if we go back and forth.
Let's humor Aaron on this one, then we'll humor you. We'll...
Wait, no. I want to stay on the first topic, James. He asked me why the moon doesn't fall towards Earth. Now he's talking about my map, okay? I don't want to talk about the map.
We'll do that one first.
Till I cover his first question. Aaron, the sun and the moon are locked in the firmament. They would not be falling towards Earth. They're not physical objects, and their gravity's not real. Hot air balloons and helium balloons go up, Aaron. So what? Now can I answer?
So you're saying the moon is not real?
No, I did not say the moon is fake, Aaron. You said
it's not a physical object.
Pull the hair back. Okay, so
you said it's not a physical object. What does that mean to you?
And that doesn't necessitate that it has to be a physical object. Okay, now is gas?
Well, it's an imaginary object then, if it's not physical.
No, it's not imaginary. Okay.
What's the option?
Will you agree that solids?
It's either made of matter and energy, or it's made of imagination. Which one is it?
Well, is plasma a thing?
Yeah, it's matter.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Great. So you have
is the moon a physical thing? Or is it an imaginary thing?
I don't have claims about what the moon is. You do, Aaron.
I'm asking you. How does asking you a question a claim?
I heard you, Aaron. And I
then why don't you give me an answer?
About what the moon is, you do.
You said the moon is not a physical thing, and neither is the sun.
No, I said you're going to assume it. I said
no. I'm asking you the question. That means I don't assume. I don't straw man either.
Great.
Because I ask questions and then I listen to you fail to answer them.
Ask me again what the moon is.
Exactly. What is the moon? You said it's not physical. Are you ready to recant that and decide that it is physical?
Aaron, you got to stop talking if you're going to ask me what the moon is. So for the fourth time, Aaron.
He wants him to make a claim. Yeah. That's what he wants him to do, because I don't know. And the reality is Aaron doesn't know either. And he knows he doesn't know. He knows no one really knows. But
Nathan made the claim. He made the claim that they're actually, I want to say, a part of or stuck in the like the ether or whatever. He's made the claim as saying this is why it don't fall, because they're actually placed in there and they maintain their position. So he's trying to claim like a plasma or something. So he's not claiming that he knows what it is. He's saying it's physical, but it could be plasma, but that it's still, it won't fall because it actually maintains its position within the apnos, I guess you might say.
Mm-hmm. Or into in the shell. Could be within the thickness of the shell too.
Right.
No, kind of strange shit. It's hard to say, but that's why their claim to know exactly what it is, and it doesn't behave like what they say it is. Okay, we have to rule that out. Now we have to figure out what is it really, right?
Right.
That's where we're at.
Take a big gulp. I don't know what the moon is. You assert it's a physical object in space vacuum. Now, is it my turn to ask a question?
Didn't answer the first one.
You asked why it doesn't fall to Earth. It's in the firmament.
You said you're challenging me for not testing a moderator. I did.
Moderator.
And you refused to hear how I did that.
Moderator, is it my turn to ask a question or not? Because I answered this question. The moon doesn't fall to Earth because it's in the firmament. Can I ask a question now?
Yeah, there is no firmament.
So
They
there
just
was
gave no
one
description. He
that
said
we
it's
talked
imaginary,
about.
but it's not imaginary. It's real, but it's not real. So, and then he doesn't know what it is, but it's locked in a giant dome that we know isn't there because he denies all the evidence that it isn't there. But he's going
All
to
right,
challenge
let's
me
hear from-
that I haven't tested it when I did.
Hi, man.
All right.
You got to
go
be
ahead,
better
Nathan.
than this. You said you debated 10,000 people, and you don't know any better than that.
Aaron, you're triggered. I know your religion's falling apart.
No, Shane,
I
say
don't have a
it.
religion, but I
All
do
right,
hate
let's-
when people lie to me and tell me that I do. Being against religion is not a religion. Being against faith is not a faith. I wish you guys would get that, but you understand that you can't defend your religious position, so you have to pretend that every other position is religious too.
No,
It's
now-
not.
now you're
My
pretending.
position is based on science, which means that I have predictive models and they can be falsified. Yours can't be. Yours makes no predictions, has no evidence, and can't be falsified. Yours is a religious belief. Mine is not. I can demonstrate that mine is not using your model.
See, he just contradicted himself
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
He totally did.
Yep. I caught
about
that.
the religion thing. Yeah.
And that's what gets me. Is, well, you already believe in stuff that was written by people that were written long ago and that are dead. It's like, yeah, you mean like
Yeah.
Copernicus? You mean like Newton? You mean like all these other fucking birds that you go around and just love so bad? Oh, man.
I know you're triggered. Take a big gulp, Aaron. It's going to get better.
I'm not triggered. Don't be
Matt
ridiculous.
James, moderator, please. Hello. Can I ask a question now?
Yeah, we're waiting for you. Go ahead. You're telling
Excellent,
Aaron he's
excellent.
triggered. Go ahead
Aaron-
and ask your
Yeah, he's
question.
lying about how I'm triggered and lying about how I have a religion and all of that. If that's all he can do, why did you platform this guy?
Aaron, do you have any scientific evidence of the R value?
Of the who?
Of the R value for your heliocentric religion?
There it is.
I don't have a religion.
All
And
right.
if you keep lying about me, then I don't have any other reason to be here. If your only
have-
way of debating is to lie about your opponent, then there's no point in it. Now, no, I don't intend to argue from physics at all. I have whole other arguments that I can bring up against your model on how I have tested it. And if you'd like to hear about those, I can go into those.
Well, Aaron, I define religion as a set of beliefs, not based on empirical evidence, but based on the doctrine of man. Now you talk about capital.
Okay, I don't have that
Why are you
either.
interrupting me, moderator?
I'm sorry, I don't have
Why
that
keep
either.
interrupting?
Okay.
Can
I
you
don't
just
have that.
stop
I
talking
don't
to me?
have a religion.
Why don't
Dude's losing his shit, man.
Ah.
Over it being a religion. See, they don't like that, especially these atheists, because they're like, oh, I have a Vulcan mind, and here I am, Klingon High Council, and how dare you say such a thing? But it meets all the criteria of a fucking religion, and that's what Nathan's pointing out. He don't want Nathan to point that out. They cannot.
Right, but you do notice that Nathan himself is like getting triggered, though, right? I mean, you do notice that Nathan himself is basically in a triggered attitude himself in the way he's talking and what he's asking for. So I think they're both of their energies are kind of like mixing, and they're getting trapped in each other's. They're getting trapped in each other's energy, and because I think Nathan's triggered, he's losing it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I can understand his trigger, and for
Right.
that reason alone, I cannot stand when a motherfucker interrupts me in the middle of a sentence. I mean, I have to hold myself back from really going at those people that do that. I can't stand that shit.
I think that moderator's failing in what he should have done, because once he muted their mic and showed he was going to mute them, he should have muted the raw guy. He should have just muted him and let Nathan ask his question, because their energies mixed and they're both triggered, and that moderator's failing.
Yeah.
I've seen him do that more than one time.
Nate, I've hung around
That's
Nathan.
false.
He's high energy no matter what.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's very, very high energy. Yeah, listen to him. I mean, he's sharp as a friggin' whip.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly and consistently sharp as a whip.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
Look at the fucking guy on the right there. I mean, wherever you screenshot, the guy looks like he's, you know, it should be, I feel like it should be going, the power of Christ compels you, you know? Get this guy's head spinning around a little bit. God damn.
Yeah.
In your perception and accept. I don't have a religion.
We do want to
stop lying about me.
Stop lying. Give Nathan.
Wait, I presented a question. Does he have any evidence of the R value?
No, I told him I wasn't going to argue from point of physics, that I had other arguments for this.
So when I ask a question, do you have any evidence of the R value? You're just going to
Yes, I do have evidence, but it's not that. I don't have evidence from physics. I'm not going to argue from physics. I'm not a physicist. I'm going to argue from other points. What?
Are you just going to concede you don't have any evidence? Next topic?
No, I have evidence, and I'm trying to present it, but you keep stopping me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll mute.
This might be an opportunity. I think we did do a question earlier. I can't remember. I think it was maybe Aaron mentioned.
I was interrupting him, James. He was going to give evidence for the R value.
Yes, and again, I said I'm not going to argue mathematics or physics. I'm going to argue other arguments, and I would like to present them, but he doesn't want to hear those because they involve his model. Falsifying his model is not what he's about. He's not going to allow that.
So you can't answer my question if you have any evidence for the R value?
No, I don't have any evidence for the R value. I'm not going to argue from physics or mathematics. I have
the
other
R
arguments.
value. We can just get rid of that one. Do you want to ask me a question, Aaron?
Yes. Well, no, I wanted to give you the evidence that I gave you before when you lied about me again by saying that I never tested your model when I did. So look at your map. Look at your polar projection map. Look at Australia. Do you see it?
I asked for evidence that you went out and observed a globe.
Yeah, I'm giving you that evidence. I'm trying to give you that evidence. I'm having this trouble. I'm trying to get you to look at it, and you're trying not to see it. So,
all right, let me be very clear.
Point your head toward the map.
All right, let me be very clear.
Look at your map. Let me be very clear.
I don't have a map. Moderator.
You don't have a map of your own model.
One second. What I want to do is if we just reset. So let's go back to maybe a new topic that we hadn't covered. We're going to have kind of this back and forth.
That bullshit about, let's use your map. Wait a second. You're the motherfucker said you saw a globe, but we want to hear about you seeing the globe. Right? You saw a globe by looking at my map? What?
Does everybody like Australia? Did he bring up Australia to look at Australia on a map?
Yeah.
Is that what he's asking? It's like, what is the thing about Australia? It's like Ruthen's from there, the other guys from there. It's like Australia's a big deal on this map.
It is.
On proven stuff, it's like Australia seems to be the continent to go to for some reason.
And they're standing upside down. They think it's real.
Well, on a globe, it's scrunched together. And they say the globe Australians say that's the true shape of Australia. And on a map, it's stretched out long. Right?
Right.
They're saying and I see this is a discrepancy or some other shit like that. So I just say that Australia is a fucking CIA psyop and doesn't really exist. Right? There, problem solved. I'm kidding, of course. But no, what he's doing there is shifting the burden.
Yep.
Once again, shifting the burden. That's all they can do. See? And they rely on the consensus, and they only get that consensus through mockery and bullying. That's it.
Yep.
Well, what is the R value going to do for Nathan that he's trying to bring that up or asking him about his reasoning or his explanation of the R value?
I don't think he's ever going to get to it because it has to do with where he gets that for the curvature, and it goes right into that mathematical formula that we're all so familiar with of measuring for curvature. And we see, 10 miles beyond where there should be curvature at, that's a problem. Okay. So he doesn't want to go there. This Aaron guy, he don't want to go there.
I know, and I think that's for me. And just watching this, it's like I give one to Nathan just for the fact of that he said it's in the firmament. He don't know nothing else. He made a claim it's in the firmament when he's asking Raw, what's your R value? He goes, well, I got one, but I told you I'm not going to go there. And it's like, so to me right there was a loss, because it's like, it doesn't matter. Just give it anyway. If you got one, just give it.
So he's asking for the radius. Is that what it is?
The R value, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they don't want to admit that because that whole 8-inch per mile square, you know, it fails 100% of the time, but that's been their go-to thing now. Oh, it's not the right number. Well, it's their number.
So,
Right.
yeah, how was it determined? How was it determined? Lucky says that was the question, basically.
Yeah. So, yeah, they don't like that one at all. Their measurement, their own measurements. Yeah, they don't like it.
They love to talk about refraction when it comes to things far away, but they don't want to talk about the possibility of refraction when they're not getting a true view of the things they think they see in the sky. Look who chopped up. Mr. Ake is here. Our good friend from down under. Now, I'm going to tell you, if I'm going to have to tell Roofy if he shows up tonight that not tonight, okay? Because unfortunately, Ruhif hurts my ratings.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I have people, the viewer, I was looking at the analytics and the viewership drops off when he goes on and it starts coming back up after he leaves. I get a lot of people in the chat saying, get him off of there so we can get on with things, blah, 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 blah. And I have to kind of like limit that back because he seems to have wanted to just come on and say the same pedantic bullshit every time.
Thank you.
And, yeah, no problem. No problem. It's like, look, we've determined, and when I said that, I was being real. We have peer-reviewed evidence and experimentation, empirical evidence, peer-reviewed, because all of our peers have looked at it, reviewed it, and deemed it as credible. All right. So when they start asking that, do you have peer-reviewed studies? Yes, we do have peer-reviewed studies. Okay. So we're going to use that same thing as well.
Yeah.
You would, Lisa. Look, I like Ruhif. You would.
Yeah,
You're like that little, who's that little kid that's always got his finger up his nose?
Dude,
Ralph
he's a child abuser.
Ralph on the fucking Simpsons, man. What's that, Dr. Ake? I heard you there briefly for a second. He's got that little sun thing rolling in there. It's daytime down there for him.
How are you all going?
We're doing good, my friend. How are you tonight?
Yeah, it's not. It's 11:30. It's not. It's daytime.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's daytime down there. Hell yeah.
We're not down anywhere. We're not down.
He's saying. Nice.
So we're at I think he only lasts about another, let me look on this counter. I think he only lasts about another, let's see if I'm at 36. I think he's less than 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes.
All right, let's do it.
He is. I got it playing fast. So he loses it right about at the 44-minute mark. And we're at the 36:25 mark.
I can stomach that.
Fourth instead.
The reason I asked for the map is because I'm going to use the map against him. I don't have a map. And he can't. Yes, you do. You gave it to me. I asked you to forward me two things. The model, which you couldn't cough up because there isn't one. There would be if your shit was real, but it isn't, so you can't get a model. And the other one was a map. And you did give me some Instagram thing, which included the map. So you're using a polar projection map. You're not. So you gave me neither a model nor a map. Okay, you meet neither of the criteria.
Draw Manning a model. Oh, you're going to leave?
James, I set up the criteria that he had to produce both.
You're going to leave?
He had to produce a model and a map. And I said that if he failed to produce either one of them,
why are you
he
here?
would not meet the criteria.
Why are you
now
here?
He's saying that I was going to allow that I can get him to describe his model using his map. He won't do that. Now he's telling me that he won't even side with the map he sent me. No, he's got nothing. He failed the minimum criteria.
I agreed I would not come on this show unless he produced both. He's produced neither. I'm gone.
I have nothing.
You have nothing.
argument.
That's correct. If you
I have
don't have a
no
model that shows predictions
That's a straw
that you
man.
can verify, then you've got butt kiss.
It's a
Nothing.
revocation fallacy. It's a revocation fallacy. Look how triggered you are.
No.
Why can't we talk about science, Aaron? Why can't we talk about empirical
I
evidence?
can, but I'm not, I made this arrangement with James. I put minimum criteria on here. This jackass failed both.
Nathan, would it be fair? Would you concede that you don't have those things, or would you
I've
actually
already told
argue you
him
do?
I don't subscribe to a model. He does.
Yep,
I don't subscribe to a
So
map
nothing.
either. I'm not a cartographer. Those are not my arguments that I have a map. My arguments are the Earth doesn't curve, it doesn't spin, and we can't have gas pressure without a container. Now, Arn, if you don't want to talk about any of my points, I'm happy to answer any questions.
If you have to have a point first. You have to have both.
He's really upset because he can't oh, you make this claim, and now that's what we're going to spend our time on is picking out your claim. When in reality, the ridiculous claim is what he's protecting the whole time. You know, this is the magician trick. This guy, I'm pretty sure that this guy eats bats. Somebody said in the chat that he does sacrifices of bats or something.
A model and a map. You have neither. You have nothing.
Falsification is independent of
Bat-eating mother.
Sorry, you have to have something to falsify. You presented nothing.
Your model that says we spin 1,040 miles an hour.
Yeah, I can prove that using your map, and I can show that. But you're not going to because you came here unprepared, sir.
You can prove we spin
James?
using my flat stationary map.
Yep.
Oh well, that's a cool story.
So-
What's the proof that we rotate?
Why don't we? Is there anything from the opening that you guys, from either opening, did
Just that
actually?
he accused me in one of his previous presentations of being a Coriolis denier while expressing
Coriolis denier. What the is that? Oh, you blasphemer. You Coriolis denier. You shall be stoned for your insolence against science. Motherfucker. Come on, man.
Does not know what the fuck Coriolis is. And it's amazing that his description was so goddamn ignorant, yet he was criticizing me and saying that I was a denialist because he doesn't know what the fuck it is.
Well, Aaron, you call yourself a science communicator. Why don't you communicate for the audience?
Communicate to science. Okay, this is the one thing I'm doing. It's the one thing I'll do.
Why are you interrupting me again? Why can't you just exercise some impulse control? Maybe drink a little more, Aaron. Okay, wait for me to finish speaking.
No.
Yep. That would be great, Aaron.
I'm not going to platform this guy who
you're a
picks up
science
with any of the
communicator.
minimum criteria.
Why don't you
I
go
was
with
going to
the
defend the
communicator?
Coriolis
Oh, now you're
explanation
interrupting me
because
again.
this guy clearly
Poor guy.
doesn't know what the hell it is. After debating some supposedly 10,000 people citing the Coriolis many, many times, and he doesn't know what the fuck it is. No, I'm not platforming this asshole anymore. He came with nothing, and you were supposed to guarantee that he would have both, or I'm out. And now he's saying that the thing he sent me, he didn't send me, and he's not going to stand by it. No, fuck him.
I just didn't say it
He's
was an
got nothing
accurate map.
falsifiable. He's got nothing testable. We've literally got nothing to talk about.
Well, you're the one running away. I still have to talk about second law thermodynamics and the Coriolis.
The fuck you know about
Now
that?
you're interrupting me.
Okay, hold on one
So I know
second.
you're triggered.
So
I know
why
your
don't we
religion's
do this?
falling
See,
Why
all
don't
he
we do
can do
this?
then, all he can do then is
One
insult
second,
me
gentlemen,
and lie about me,
gentlemen,
and that's
please.
it. He doesn't have a model. He doesn't have a map. He doesn't have anything falsifiable. All he can do is the argument from incredulity, where he tries to show how he doesn't understand something so that he thinks he can put me on the defensive. No, if he's going to be arguing a scientific position, and this is not a religious position like he lies to make it out to be, it's a scientific position, which means he has to bring a theory that accounts for all of the data better. And that theory had better been able to make predictions that we can verify. He's got nothing. So he's literally nothing to talk about. We have nothing to debate about.
We Nathan,
Okay.
just to be sure that I understand. So the two things that aren't
T-minus 3 minutes.
Is it? Would you say that you do have those things? To be fair, it is a flat versus globe type of debate. So like,
what do we always say, son? Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance.
You only pay for what you need.
That's my boy.
James, they don't have a model. They don't have a map to show us either. That's accurate.
Yes, we do.
Oh, you do?
You've seen globes. We all have globes. I can look up Google Earth right now and show you a globe.
I know you
And
got
in fact, in this discussion, I'd intended to do that when I was going to show you several giant gaping holes in the map that you sent me, which you now deny that you sent me. So if you give me nothing that we can test, we literally have nothing to say.
All right.
So we're done.
I don't deny that I sent you it. I said it's not accurate. I said I can't
Okay,
guarantee.
so you're not going to stand by your
that
own basis.
I'm
The
not-
basis for your position. you're
No,
not
the
going to stand
basis for my position is you got to pay attention, Aaron. Listen, I know you're going to interrupt me.
I know, we've already
Aaron,
discussed this. The only
moderator,
basis you
he's
have
not
is
letting me
the
talk.
argument from
He says
incredulity
he's
where
going
you
to
get
leave
to
you,
push,
and
where
then
you
he
get to
just
explain how
rambling.
you don't
Moderator,
understand how real
moderator,
science works,
okay, wait a
and
second,
you can't
gentlemen,
participate.
The guy cannot hold his shit.
Hmm.
He can't hold his shit for 2 minutes. How come every time I freeze frame him, he looks like he's gonna attack me?
He's right behind you.
Listen, I wouldn't want that bird anywhere near me, man. He's a scary looking fucking guy, man.
In real science either. I'm done. I'm out.
Okay,
I'm not playing this fucking game.
All right, hold on. Pardon my interruption. So, is that if we why don't we do this? We've done this before. Thanks to Vosh versus Sargon, sometimes we switch into like 2 or 3 minute intervals, and so that's something that I think will help keep this orderly.
Commanding that I have all of this information for whatever field he wants to argue, but he doesn't have anything falsifiable on his own. He doesn't have anything where we can show that his doesn't work. The moon is the moon is not physical, and it's stuck to a firmament that doesn't exist, and I don't know anything about it, and I don't have a map, and I don't have a model, and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. My head is up my own ass, but you're triggered because you have a beer in front of you? Fuck you.
You are triggered, Aaron. Please just take a deep breath. I wanted you to
Fuck
since
off.
you're a science communicator.
Yeah, I am. And you are not. You're a religious apologist, and that's all
We're drifting off topic.
You just keep interrupting.
Basically,
we're going to drift off
so
more than that.
Let's come back.
Steve,
So
I was in the middle.
Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Hold on a second. Hold on, guys. I'm so sorry that I had to mute you just to try to get that. We can't. Nobody can hear you.
His map. Fuck you.
Break it up.
I'm gone.
So
Break it up, you guys.
one moment.
Yeah.
So
Could a science communicator
Nathan-
Coriolis?
And there he goes.
Okay.
And there he goes. 44 minutes. Lucky Haskins said that was one of the fastest debates ever. But the reality of it is that guy got pissed off, not for any other reason, but because at every attempt that he made to try to shift the burden around to Nathan was smacked right out of the water, man. Right away. Now, I watched the rest of it, and the questions that came in from the audience were a lot of globetards and just nothing but the same shit. The same fucking insults and they want to call him, instead of Nathan, they think that by calling him Natalie. See, and that's the thing. It's like we're going to ridicule you into line is basically what it is. We're going to get you back straight, or at least set an example for anybody else that might think this same thing. Yep. That's how this whole goddamn thing works, man.
Hey, can I give you a
science communicator? Oh, go ahead, Art.
Go ahead, Dr. Ake.
I've posted a little video on private chat. Can you see it?
No, I don't see anything in the private chat yet. There's nothing in there.
Tony Drake.
Yeah, I mean, did you put it in the regular chat?
I just put it in the private. I just put it in the private.
You guys, hey, do you see it over there, Peter W? No, it's not. Nothing in there, brother.
No.
You sure you hit enter?
Just the one you put in. That's it.
I'll do it again. I'm
right.
pressing. Fuck's in.
There's Dreamy. There's Dreamy, made it. But yeah,
I'll press it.
Okay.
Can you see it now?
No, nothing there, man. Watch, I'll put in something to you. When you see a little number come up on the private chat bubble, pick that and you'll see it. So I'm going to put in hello. There. So you see that little number come up in there now? And it's got should have my message. Now you can reply in there. And
no. Oh, maybe I didn't.
Well,
I see that. Nope.
I don't know what happened there. Ra either had to admit he had the blind belief or throw a hissy fit and bail. That's exactly right. And he knew that's where that shit was going. Blind man could see that coming. You know,
Everything's breaking up.
I mean, once you figure out what they're doing, you can stop them from doing it. You see, Toon was trying to do that the other night with me, right? Yep. Well, define container, motherfucker. You know what a container is. Shut up.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't play dumb. Don't play dumb, and don't assume that I don't know what a container is. Okay, because I go watch my video on a container, goon. Right, so that's the only thing he had was Mockery. That's why he drew the little Cookie Monster eyes on his stupid basin with a column of water in it. For fuck's sake, a column of water? Are you shitting me?
It's just
that was the dumbest damn thing I ever saw in my fucking life, man.
Yeah, and
wow.
It's interesting how they're obsessed with a model. I mean, I've been hearing that for years. Yeah, you got to have a toy. It's not about a model. It's about physically going outside and testing the topic, which is the Earth. You know,
Bot says what? Bot says what? Nathan has nothing. Sure, Mr. Ball.
Yeah.
I'd like to see you. I'd like to see you click the link and come up and talk to me. I don't think you got shit, Mr. Wanting to sit out in a fucking yard with a globe and look at the sun. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Come on.
And that's the thing, and it leads back to when any flat earther, you know, or they go outside and literally test the topic, the Earth, and the 8 inch per mile square fails 100% of the time. So they go, "Oh, where's your model? Where's your model?" It's like, we don't need one. We live on creation. It's right out in front of you. It's like, go outside and stand on the fucking thing. It's not moving. You can't admit that. You're just lying to yourself. Yeah.
Well, as far as a model is concerned, look, it's hard to have a complete model when you have incomplete information.
Right.
Okay. For instance, the sun and the moon. First, we have to know what the fuck they are and where they really are at. Okay. That's before we even go into that. We have to know what they are. We don't. We have to know exactly where they are. We know where they appear to be. But is that really where they are? Okay. Secondly, there's so much that we have to do. Yes, there must be containment. What's the containment look like? I don't know.
Right.
Okay. I don't know. I've never touched it or seen it. I suspect it to be curved. I could be wrong. Okay. And I just base that on some stellar aberrations. I'm working on an experiment that I'm going to do to see if that hypothesis is correct. And it's still going to give us some interesting results either way. Anyway, so no, I don't know what that's made of. I don't know what the medium outside of the Earth system is, but I really wouldn't need to. Now, as far as a model as to how an enclosed ecosystem can work, yes, I do have models of that all over the fucking place, man. And they're called terrariums.
Right.
Right? They're called terrariums. It's not hard to do. In fact, you can actually have a terrarium in an enclosed bubble underwater.
Right.
Okay. So there's a good model. Is it exactly like the Earth? Well, in a way, I mean, we're not duplicating things that we don't know how they actually work or operate. We just only know what we appear to see them do. There's a lot of assumptions that the sun is causing heat. The sun could absolutely be cold. And a reaction with the Earth is what's causing heat. I mean, it's awful weird that Death Valley at 218 feet below sea level, or I think it's 258 feet below sea level, lowest place on Earth, you know, at least in the Western Hemisphere, below sea level. And it's hot as a fuck all year long.
Right.
You come up out of bad the area of Badwater in Death Valley, you come up out of there in this time of year. Right now, it's still up in the hundreds. But you come up into the out of that Badwater basin, up into the rest of the desert, and it's dropped like 30 degrees or more. So what's going on there? I mean, even through the winter, it's cold as fuck in the rest of the desert. You go down into there where it's that low and it's fucking hot. But you go up on top of a mountain, which is supposedly closer to the sun, you'd figure it would be hotter, right? No.
Right.
It's colder. Now there are other factors that go into that, but like the amount of material in the gases, whether it's thinner or not, being able to conduct the heat, because heat needs a medium to be conducted in. So there's a little bit of that, but some of it just don't fly. How you doing, Sing? What's up with you, brother?
Good. How's everybody tonight? I'm just listening in. I caught up on a bit, so I'm just going to listen in until there's something to put to the table.
Right. So we were just kind of.
Hey.
Yo, there he is, Mr. Dr. A.
Can you see it on that chat now, on the private chat? Can you see my name?
There's nothing.
Tony Drake, Tony.
Are you doing this in the YouTube chat or in the StreamYard chat?
I'm on that thing where you got a duck on the left-hand corner.
Okay. I don't see anything coming up, Dr. Ake. Really, I don't. And neither does I'll even show you. Let me just show you real quick.
I don't see it.
This is what I got right here. I'm in the private chat.
It says private chat. And the last one on there says, where's the last one? The last one says Lucky Haskins.
No, you're in the regular chat.
Can you go in there or not?
No, yeah, but you can't put it in there. It's not going to work.
Oh.
You have to put it in the one that says private chat. There's 2 chat bubbles. If you look at the one on the duck thing, that's all the way at the bottom, it says private chat. That's the one you got to go into to send stuff like that. Otherwise,
I tried putting on when it asked me to log in. It said there was a gap there for headlines. I'll put it there as well.
Yeah, I see that. It's not a clickable link though.
What's he sending?
I don't know. He's trying to give us a video. You can go into that private chat right there. You can see it right next to where you're seeing the chat with all Lucky Haskins and everybody in it. Okay, and over there, just a second. So over there, you're going to see where it's a little bubble. It says private chat. Click on that, and then you can put stuff down there in the dialog box, and it'll come up, and then either me, Peter, or even Sing can see it, and you'll see it too. Anyway, so what was that?
What about that?
I still don't see nothing, man. I don't think you're in the right spot, brother.
Let me check and see if there's anything in my chat.
I don't see it.
I don't either.
Nothing there. I think he's in the wrong box.
I do too, man.
It's only one box though, chat. Mike, Cam, next is chat, starting from the left.
And then there's private chat. There's 2 different chats. Yeah, I know, Peter. I used to live there. Peter said that in Death Valley it can, what did he say? He said, yes, in winter, Death Valley, it can freeze too. Yeah. But you know what? Not down in Badwater. Not down in Badwater. It doesn't. It don't get down about maybe the coldest I've ever seen it gets around in the high 70s. Even when it's like freezing up in the rest of the desert. It's amazing.
It's almost sovereign, like there's pocket containment fields with different laws of physics, almost frequency containment fields.
That's what I think. It's more of a frequency thing than it is an actual physics thing, like let's not forget that everything that looks like fire is not necessarily fire. I have a fireplace in my front room that's not really a fireplace, but it sure as hell looks like one. I turn that thing on and there's flames and everything, and I can turn on a blower that turns heat on and comes out of it too. So it's very, very convincing to a point, but there again, what's causing it? What is fire? I mean, this shit, even what's light? You're talking about particles of light. How big is a particle of light? How do you, what is that? How much does one weigh? I'm not buying into some of this shit that they talk about. It just sounds like nonsense to me, man. It's just like none of that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's like,
go ahead.
It's like, does a flame cast a shadow?
No.
Somebody
ought to tell NASA that though, because if you look at shadows of the rocket launches, the flames have a shadow on the ground. Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting. Yeah. Like you can't grow plants from a fire, though it has heat emissions, right? It has energy emissions, but you can grow it from electric light.
Right. Well, the sun's electric.
Yeah, you got that bang on.
I'm 100%.
You got that.
It's electric, man.
Electric food grows from electric hydroponics. It's electric food to a great degree. Yeah, it is stabilized from some type of electric emissions.
Everything's electric, man. Everything is electric. And that's how we operate. That's how everything is operating, man. Just like the earth has its negative and positive polarities to it, with the alkaline, the water with salt, which is a metal, conductive. We work the same way. We're like a little micro of this whole macro. We operate the same way, same energy system, man.
This whole illusion is constructed from electromagnetic radio waves. Basically, the sun is a radio laser emitter. I've known that for quite a while now. And the sun and moon are kind of working in sort of anti-fields to each other, but they do work together.
Right.
Governing this.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Just governing the system.
Well,
and and this is how they're tapping into the whole system, how they're manipulating people. Do you want to define mind control, mass world mind control is through the synchronization. Sort of, you can define a synchronization with Wi-Fi signals. Well, what are they? Cell signals. Well, they're radio waves. They are radio waves. Cell towers also known for being laser beam technology. There you have it, a radio laser emitter, sort of mimicking the sun, a sort of smaller, modeled down control version from the sun-moon construct, more or less the sun. But it's very interesting how this whole system with CERN, HARP, cell towers, Wi-Fi, smart technology missions, smart technologies is all sort of synchronized to each other to cause a huge manipulation as a mass population world control. Depending on somebody's frequency, they can be manipulated a lot easier with these signals.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah.
Well,
I think No Longer on the Ball, and on his page that he I think here it is. I think I have it up right now. Where we looked at this shit here. Let me come into here and share this. And this was, I don't know where Dr. Ake went, but hopefully.
Yeah, I think he's trying to figure out his troubles.
Yeah, he was definitely, I think what he was doing is he was trying to put it in the regular chat, and the message wasn't showing up because he was using a link, and YouTube won't let anyone but moderators post a link. So the message only shows up to him. It doesn't show up to anybody else. It only shows up to him. See?
That's right.
So this was some of the shit we were looking at last night as far as these, what is this thing? Go away, stupid little.
Yeah, you got that bang on. Yeah, this is how the technology is working is basically all synchronized to this too.
And this whole thing right here, humans have taken over and vastly shortened evolution. This is their whole case for pulling this bullshit on us. And it talks about legal stuff that they can do. I'm looking for that thing where it said they could, basically it was saying that they could drug you from the air.
Yeah, well, look at it this way. I can give the analogy of that, and everybody can have a simple breakdown. Okay, so when somebody ingests a chemical, it is basically that chemical is a type of tuner, a frequency field. So basically, when one realizes any chemical structure somebody's ingesting, whether it be alcohol, any other illicits, or whatever may be ingested to cause the effect, is what's behind the chemicals. They act like frequency resonance tuners. I call them channel gates, sort of changing one's frequency within the channel. So this could be all mimicked by signals. The signals from the air from cell towers can actually give somebody the effects of LSD, make somebody feel drunk. It can make any effect. It can also mimic any disease to be beamed to somebody, if so directed in an area. I don't know if they can beam it directly to somebody, but in areas they can definitely manipulate. So in actual fact, yeah, they can manipulate all that. Definitely, they can manipulate a lot, or even manipulate, synthesize the feelings. You want to make somebody angry? Well, you just emit the frequency field of anger. Then once this field is in a certain area or beamed in a certain area, I don't know if they can really target an individual. So the manipulation is great.
Oh,
Greatly possible.
They're really studying hard into this shit. I'm going to put a link to this in the chat. And I'm also going to put it in the description of this. I did it last night.
They should rename smart dust to stupid dust.
Oh my God! Yes, they should. It is terrible. I mean, just the amount of stupid that we're running across. I mean, I'm just flabbergasted by it. I thank God every day that I don't leave my house and have to interact with it. You know. And luckily it's only a select few that come to my house, you know,
and that's
stupid people. So that's cool, you know.
That's the way to be. Someone has a sign outside saying "No stupid dust here."
Oh my God! It's like, what are these people doing? You know, I had a buddy of mine over here stopped over and he's telling me about a problem he had, and I was like, "Wow, you've been having this problem for a long time, dude." And he says, "Yeah, I've been having your life." And I says, "You know, maybe you ought to take a look at why the problem is happening, you know?" And I was like, maybe the problem is happening because, you know, you're repeating the same thing over and over and getting the same results, you know? So,
well, there was a stating in A&A, repeating the same thing and expecting different results is insanity.
it is indeed.
You know what? Well, the same experiment's going to be the same experiment. It's not going to change, right?
Right.
If you're doing the exact same thing.
I'm going to put a link to that down in I put that down in the description. I'm also going to put into the True Earth Wiki page. I want you people to go here and check this out. There's more content being added. I'm going to be putting some contributions on here as well. Really going to be a great resource, especially for people like myself. So I'm going to put that in there, and I'm also putting this in the description.
Is that an experiment that Dr. Aitken's doing there?
It's I don't know. He just has that thing up there showing that thing's being powered by the sun. That's really, those are cool. I had one of those when I was a kid, man. I loved it.
Okay.
I love shit like that.
Hey, Dave.
Is that a solar?
All right, just a second. I'm kind of cutting down some windows that I have open that I shouldn't probably need to have. So I got us open twice over here and once over here. Okay, I'm good to go. There. I just had too many goddamn windows open and I couldn't do anymore.
Did you see the latest video Dave Weiss posted on his app? I think it was from 2 days ago about that radio signal that was 800 plus miles.
I saw it listed. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it's like 4 minutes. It's really, really interesting. Yeah.
I'll tell you, I'll probably do that before I finish watching that other debate tonight, because listen, I got hung up on that channel watching Nathan's debates with some of these guys, and I was watching it because it's like Nathan's not really giving me a whole lot of new information. That's cool. He's presenting it very, very well. But when I'm using it, I'm looking at this and I'm studying the commonalities that these guys have. Okay, I'm comparing them, and they start to look the same to you. These people, they have almost the same physical type characteristics about them, the same mental maturity level, especially when backed into a corner with their beliefs. You see that all the time. It's all very, very indicative, and I think it's interesting. I'm compiling this data in my little study. It's all just in my head, but
Yeah, and you're bang on. You know what? To be straightforward and honest, it seems like they have the same spirit working through them. They're kind of I was watching your video earlier, that segment. They all seem to be like influenced by the same spirit. Their speech is almost similar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now that Ammon Ra guy or whoever he was, Aaron Ra.
Ra.
Okay, yeah, right.
Ra.
The cave dwelling bat eater.
No, that's his name. You got to be kidding me.
yeah, Aaron Ra. So
the
anyway,
Klingon.
Yeah, the Klingon High Council guy. Yeah, he's live long and prosper.
All he needs is a pitchfork.
Yeah,
dude, I was thinking that
the son of Ra.
I want to be Antoine LaVey so bad. God damn it, his that whole little opening thing that he said. That is a practiced and memorized script.
Yep.
Okay, that entire soliloquy is nothing more than a memorized script. And I think Nathan also showed that if you take them off script, it breaks them. They turn into children as soon as you take them off script. And the easiest way to take them off script, because the number one thing in the script is to try to shift it around on you, put you on defense, right?
Yep.
Don't let that fucking happen.
Yep.
You got the ridiculous claim, buddy. I'm holding it to the fire. I don't have to have a model. I don't have enough information to have the entire model, but what I do have is a lot of proof that it's not a fucking ball spinning around, and it is indeed a level topographical plane. Now, how some of the mechanics are working on that, well, we're still trying to discover that, because we had to first combat 400 years of indoctrination and fucking brainwashing. All right.
Yep.
So you're the one with the dipshit claim. You know, I'm not going to let you shift that over onto me. If I state an immutable fact, okay, don't tell me I've made a claim. Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, I caught that with that, and yeah, they loop. They're like loopies. They keep looping with no so-called end result, with no resolve to what they're stating. It's just there's no evidence, and it's just 1 + 1 adds up to 2. Never did to 3, but maybe in their world it might. I don't know.
He said, Lucky says that he mocks the Bible and states a television event is proof. Dude, well said, man. Well,
absolutely
said. God,
like when he said that all the photos from space, he hasn't even admitted they're not actual photographs. Yeah.
Lucky's asking if Sing is Freddie Mercury, I think. Or are you talking to me? Sometimes I get that. People say, oh my God, Freddie Mercury. I'm like, no. I get that all the time. Stop.
Can I screen share on here?
Yeah.
Go for
Just go down there to the bottom where it says present.
Yeah.
Okay, and you click on that, and you could share screen, share tab, share window. It should give you an option.
I'm going to show you just recent. It come out this week. Proof of the forked tongue of these space guys. I'm going to show it to you.
All right. Oh, Dr. Ake, you can do this way as well if you want to. If you want to share a YouTube video, go down there under present and then have it pulled up on your system that you're on and share that, and I can pull it up on screen. So as soon as yours comes back screen, Peter, I'll pull it right up.
Okay. My first time, so.
Okay, virgin.
I know.
Hey, Freddie Mercury was a badass. I know, right? Did
And
you
who
see
exactly was Freddie Mercury?
did you see the movie? What the hell's the name of it? Bohemian Rhapsody?
No, I haven't. Oh,
It's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. But from what I understand, they cut out a lot about toward the end of his life. They just kind of glossed over it, you know.
okay, so they just took out the most important parts.
Dr. Fauci killed him. No.
Hey, Sav, I was going to ask you a question.
Oh, that's mine.
Yeah, that's. Oh no, wait, yeah, that's you, man. You're showing our restream of our stream.
Sav, did you get around to watching that movie Dark City?
I have
We
seen
talk-
that. I saw that. That's
Oh.
with that guy with the shadow face that changes and shit, Rorschach and all that.
I'm not sure the actor's name, but
No,
it's
I
based
mean,
on a flat. It's based on a. They're in space on a flat Earth, basically a
Yeah.
flat type of structure where they're being experimented on by some type of alien humanoids that are actually alien creatures in these type of pale-faced, black-wearing humanoids. It was interesting. Where a human wakes up in their experiment and actually takes over all their experiment and changes their whole structure. Eventually, messes up their experiment.
Well, Peter finds that. I'll just I'll pull it back up when you find it. Just let me know.
I'll let you
It'll
know.
still be on. All right, so it'll still be on. I still have access to it. I just wait for you to pull that up. All right, Dr. Ake was.
Hello.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, man?
You just posted a link on YouTube just not long ago, hey?
Yeah.
Just under your link, you can see my link.
Did you post it in regular chat? It
Yeah,
won't show
just-
up. It won't show up. You're not a moderator. Links won't show up there.
Well, I've
Yeah,
tried
your
everything.
message won't show up. If you put a link in your message, you're the only one that can see it. So you have to
Okay.
now listen, Dr. A. I want you to listen. So you can either, if you can't do it through the private chat, if you just open up the video you're talking about, and then on here you can see present. It's down there with your settings and camera and all that. There should be a thing that says present. You click on that and you should be able to share your screen or a YouTube video tab or something. It'll give you all the options. And then when it comes up, just like Peter did just now, see, he's got his thing up on the screen and I can pull it back down. See? Or I can go over to mine that I have. See?
I pulled up my Twitter page. Can that be shown, or do I have to do it different?
Yeah, pull up your Twitter. You were showing it before. You were looking all around on it. We had it up on
Can
screen.
you see it?
Yeah, there it is. NASA 1
You
billion.
see the meme?
True Earth. That's you, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I follow that guy on Twitter. I follow that dude.
All right.
So NASA's $1 billion Jupiter probe just sent back dazzling new photos of the giant planet and its great red spot. And I can't read. What's that say? What's it say where you got it circled at?
It says image credit, artist concept of Jupiter's superstorm, NASA.gov.
Yep. Artist concept. Concept. Ain't that some shit, man? And
So it'll say dazzling new photos, but then you got to read the fine print.
Right. Let me see. That's I'm gonna go. I'm on there too. I'm liable to see it along here somewhere. Did you just put that up today?
Yeah, 2 days ago.
2 days ago. All right, let me see.
Yeah.
I gotta go look for. I gotta find you. True Earth. Oh, come on, man. I think keyboard's taking a shit on me or something, man. God dang it. I don't know. My keyboard was doing this earlier too. There, now it just now started kicking in. Jesus. There he is. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, you post a lot of stuff, man. Yeah, you got a bunch of shit
I've
on
been
you.
back on it. Yeah.
Let's
I
see.
took a break for a while. I was just like getting tired of it.
Let's see, September 28th. Hang on. I heard somebody backstage, but I'm not on that page right now. I'll look at it in just a second and pull you up. Give me just a moment. I'm looking for, there it is. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this over on this screen. There's Singh. There's Dr. Ake. And I'm going to swap this out on mine. And let me see what I got. Stop sharing that. There's the one. There's what we were talking about right there. Now watch this. Watch this. Oh, all it let me do is take the size of the comments up. That's all right. That's all right. Have you blocked a lot of those dumbasses, man?
Yes.
I have too.
Yeah. I just get it's the same circle jerk all the time.
Yep. Yep.
I posted memes and and then chatting with other flat earthers sometimes, but any of the negative comments, I just block them. And after a while, it gets fewer and fewer.
Yes. Well, I've got you.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that T. Ragsdale guy, right? Do you know that guy's been on there since 2016?
Really?
He's been on there
Doing
saying that same scripted shit since 2016.
You mean he hasn't been upgraded yet?
No, man. He's another one of these, man. He's another one of these fucking characters. I don't know. They're just
Sometimes some are. I wonder if they're like CGI insertions. I really question certain things.
Well, I showed one night on here how a bunch of them on Facebook were bots.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I got off Facebook for a long time, and then I reactivated my account, right? And I still had all my old shit, right? So I went and I looked at my old block list. Well, when I pulled it up, the names that I had blocked that were like these trolls had reverted back to names that referred to them as bots and fact check this and fact check that. And it was like, these weren't even real fucking people. There was 3 pages of people I had blocked, and only 2 of them were real actual people.
Yep.
So, this AI is so new. This AI is so new. People are really tripping about this AI. And I'm going, you dumb sons of bitches. You've been fucking around with AI now for years and didn't even know it.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah. One thing for the whole bot thing in Twitter now, though, it's gotten weeded out really good in there. So typically it's still there, but it just a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, you get inundated with them.
Oh my God.
But it's way better than it was, because before it got cleaned up, I was in there for 3 or 4 years, and I got up to like 1,500 people.
Mm-hmm.
But after the clown Musk took over, it definitely has been cleaned up a lot more. But my follower count in like probably 8 or 9 months, it added like another 10,000 followers. versus being in there for 3 or 4 years and
Yeah, yeah.
struggling to get the first out.
Well, I mean,
You know
they
the
got
flat
me
earth,
stoked, they got me
flat
stoked.
earther account in England.
Yeah.
You know that guy? You probably follow him. He's got over 200,000 followers now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which are you talking about? With which guy? Mike Oxbig?
No, his account is the Flat Earther.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's got 200,000 followers now.
That's something, man.
I remember following him when he had like just under 10,000.
Yep. Well, I mean, I'm just now creeping up on 1,000 right now.
Yeah.
And I'm throttled, man. They fuck with my stream. They
Oh yeah.
shadow ban me. I'll tell you another wild thing too. I go in my analytics, and this is crazy. I go in my analytics, and my analytics will say one amount of view count, right? And it'll be like, say, 475, right? And then I go and I look on my page, and it lists my video, and it'll say like 395 views. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing there? I mean, that's a huge discrepancy. Yeah. How is that possible? It shows this in my analytics, but it doesn't show that on what everybody sees, because it counts also. How many people have watched this video? Oh, a lot of people. It must be pretty good, or whatever the case may be. So right. They're fucking with it. And here I am struggling my way up with it. And that's all right. I'm pretty proud of the fact that I've been able to do that despite the odds. So, hey, right? But that starts growing a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. But, folks, it's not about that. It really isn't. Because as I've said a million times on here, this is what the Globies depend on. It's not about consensus, man. Truth is not dictated by what people believe. Okay, so if they've made a concentrated effort to make everyone believe something that's not true, even though they all believe it, it still doesn't make it any more true. Yeah. And I don't understand how people can't get that. Once you can get over that hurdle, I think the rest of it's pretty easy, but a lot of people really can't, because I think part of it is, even they don't even realize it, is that pride's involved. And because there again, if you're wrong, that's a terrible thing to be wrong. Oh, you were wrong. Ha 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 ha. Right? That's not a bad thing. What happened when you were wrong? You learned something. That's a positive thing.
Yeah, it's good news.
God damn right, man.
Nobody died. It's good news.
God damn right, man. Holy cow. People got to get their goddamn heads on straight, man. They're not.
That's brutal.
They're not thinking correctly. They're not running shit through the logic mill. They're just reacting. They're not acting. They're just reacting. That's what they do. They're reactionary. So,
yeah.
Oh, I always question, whose head do they have on? Then they can get their heads right.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. You got to even know thyself, to thyself be true.
Yeah.
I don't think truer words could be spoken.
Right. So when I spread flat earth stuff in through social, of all places, but we use the blue dot next to our name in there. So if you ever go into Truth Social, look for people with blue dots next to their name, because that's our tag for flat earth in there.
Oh, kick ass. Yeah. I'm going to put your link in the chat. You have a wrench, don't you, Peter?
No, I don't.
You don't have a wrench?
No, I'm wrenchless.
Well, you are wrenchless. You need to just type hi in the regular chat for me one time. And I'll take care of that situation.
In the duck chat or the other one?
In the regular YouTube chat.
All right, let me go over there.
Or you can put it in the regular chat of StreamYard. It'll show up over there still, too.
Okay.
Oh,
I just did it.
I got it. There we go. With all titles.
I avoid all the political crap in there, but I'm there to spread the flat earth. And there's a
Yeah, same here. I do enjoy though. I gotta say, I do enjoy a good political meme ragging on either of them. I don't care because especially if it shows how I think about these people because oh yes, don't let me forget. My God, how could we forget today was a monumental day in the overprivileged rest home that we call the United States Senate. Ladies and gentlemen,
fine Finkel there.
Dianne Feinstein,
Yes.
Franken Feinstein, the horrible liberal beast from California who has been haunting the halls of Congress almost my entire life, has assumed room temperature.
Yep.
And we are so fucking happy about that. Although we all know that it's just a puppet and there are a multitude of puppets that are going to take her place because the real power was not her. It was the people behind her. Okay. But nevertheless, a reprehensible human being. I really hope that she's been over in hell and Satan is pissing in her ass. I really do. So that being said, it's our current event moment on Sovereign Soul, Unchained Mind. Yeah. Fuck the government, right? Holy cow.
Yeah, I saw that. I can't believe she was 90. I'm like, why are these people in there?
Oh, I know. Did you see her? This last video footage I saw her sitting in there and she was supposed to vote and she just started fucking rambling on. And one of her assistants says, just say yay. And she goes, oh, yay. And that was it. It was like, okay, here's your pudding, sweetheart. Let's get you back to your nap and shit. I'm like, God damn, man. You know? How about her and these people are like decrepitly old.
Yep.
Out of touch. But you know what? People will keep doing it. People will keep doing it. They're showing their true colors. They can't help but show their true colors because they're getting too old and they're losing their shit, right? So they're showing their true colors for what they are.
Yep.
And I think it's beautiful, man. The emperor's new clothing is being revealed.
Yep.
And I think that's fantastic, man.
More and more people are seeing through all that baloney. That COVID crap, that woke up a lot of people.
It did indeed.
It really did. Yeah. And they, even after they got the jibby do, it still woke people up.
Hey, man, it sure did. 2 weeks to flatten the curve, right?
Yep.
Well, they certainly did, didn't they?
Yep.
They certainly did. Flat Earth is at an all-time high right now. Okay.
Oh, God. Absolutely.
I'm seeing polls that are blowing it out of the water. Like we showed last night, even Neil deGrasse Tyson, his Facebook post has like all these laughy faces, and the first comments you even come across, they're like, "Oh, what a bunch of crap! You suck."
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I'm loving it. I'm loving it because it's like how the tables have turned.
And that's all good to see because I've been able, since it's been more cleaned up in there, you actually see those comments now.
Yep.
Before you wouldn't, they would all be, it would be riddled with bots the first 100 comments.
Well, that was who cleaned up Facebook. That was on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, ain't nobody cleaned up Facebook.
They don't let me on there.
They don't let you on. No. So I got thrown out of a flat Earth group on Facebook.
Nice.
Because it was a flat Earth group run by globetards. So the whole purpose of it was just to fuck with flat earthers, right?
Yep.
And I noticed that and started pointing that out.
Yep.
So then I got banned. I got blocked. So I messaged the admin. I said, "Hey, why is there a baltard running a flat Earth page?" And he says, I wonder. I says, "Oh, no, that wasn't. I already know the reason. I was just letting you know that question's there." Okay. Yeah. And that's one that we're going to ask a lot about for this page. You know, you're kind of a piece of dirt. And that's what, that's what they rely on. Their whole thing is about deception and lying. And this is why anytime you say something, especially when you're on the mark, you can tell you're on the mark because they go, "You're lying." What?
Yeah.
Like, is it possible maybe I'm mistaken, but I'm actually consciously lying? Is that what you're telling me? Is this based on your own intimate knowledge of your own behavior? I believe that it is. Because assumptions often that people make about other people are based on intimate knowledge of themselves. It's real simple. Of course they would. I would. Right? That's the thing. Of course they would do that. I would. Of course, their whole world's based on erroneous assumptions of a curve of the earth, erroneous assumptions that somehow the only example of a violation of entropy is the very thing in question. Yeah. Come on, man. It's time. I think that kills it right there. I don't think you got to go any goddamn further, because if you want to discuss shit in the sky, we got to figure out how you're looking through what you're looking through to see these things in the sky. Before we can do that, we have to figure out what the hell's holding everything in. It's over. That right there destroys every bit of it.
Oh, yeah.
They hated it. I'll tell you what, that's why that as soon as I went with that and I threw out those examples about the contained atmos and how the pressure gradient works and shit, I got fucking hammer attacked.
Yep. Yeah, I noticed it. Yeah.
It tells me I was right over the target.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
The bomber that's over the target's going to get the most heat, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So hell yeah, fuck these guys. I do not accept their behavior or nor their dishonesty.
Hey.
Anyway. Hey. There he is. What's going on, my man?
Hey, I've tried every way I can imagine how to send you this link. I've even got it, I've got this big screen in front of me, and your name's in green, and my name's in green. Can you see the link?
I see that. I can't click on that, man.
Can you?
Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to indulge you, Dr. A. I really am. I'm going to try to do something here. And let me see if this works. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to type in. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. Wait a second. God bless it. I want to take this over here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to type that in just how you got it. YouTube. Let's see. .be/Q.
I clicked on it. It worked.
It worked? His little thing down there worked when you clicked on it? Holy shit.
No, it's in the private chat.
Oh, I didn't. He finally made it. Okay, I got it. Whoa, okay.
Shit, got it in there 5 times.
Yeah, he sent it 5 times. I'm so sorry. You've been doing that for the last 17 minutes or 12 minutes. My bad, brother. Hang on a second. I got you, man.
It'll show you a containment.
All right, hold on one sec here. All right.
It's a very old video.
All right, I'm gonna bring it up right now. Let's see. I'm gonna stop that screen. I'm gonna present this screen, and we're gonna put it right here. This is a guy named A.H. Andrews. Do you know anything about him? Do you know anything about him?
You can go online and see, but he's just an old scientist. That's all. Long time ago, too.
Let's see. This was filmed on April 13th, 1930. A.H. Andrews speaking and claiming that people live on the inside surface of a hollow globe with the sun, moon, and stars also inside the globe. Okay.
Containment.
Always, you must have containment.
And 97, the geodetic staff of the Correction Unity of Estero, Florida, conducted a survey on the Gulf Shore.
Fucking circle of death.
Florida. This survey covered a period of several months, proving conclusively that the Earth curves upward and that we are living on the inner surface of a hollow globe, the sun, moon, and stars all being within the circumference of 25,000 miles. That the surface of the Earth is round, there can be no question. But that we are living on the outer surface of a convex globe rotating rapidly through space is pure assumption or guesswork. This survey lasted over a period of several months, proving conclusively that the Earth curves upward and that we are living on the inner surface of a hollow globe, sun, moon, and stars all being contained within the circumference of 25,000 miles. Covered a period of This survey covered a period of several months, demonstrating conclusively that the Earth curves upward and that we are living on the inner surface of a hollow globe, sun, moon, and stars all being within the circumference of 25,000 miles. Of the cellular cosmogony.
See him pausing for photos. See the flashes.
Yeah.
We have here a working model of the hollow globe, or the cellular cosmogony as we call it. On the inner surface of this great shell, we find here the western continent. Over there is the eastern hemisphere. And here is the sphere of the heavens with sun, moon, and stars revolving. Contrary to the usual thought that the China is beneath our feet, it is in reality above us. We have here a working model of the hollow globe, or cellular cosmogony as we call it. Here on the inner surface of the great shell, you will see the western hemisphere, and over here is the eastern hemisphere. Here is the sphere of the heavens revolving with sun, moon, and stars. Contrary to the usual belief that China is beneath our feet, it is in reality above us.
Hi, I'm Tika Tawari. This self-driving Tesla
Hi,
is
Tika.
taking me to a little known facility.
So, thoughts, fellas.
So God makes everything with a containment. Just a simple cell has a containment. Everything has containment.
Yes. Agreed.
I mean, they just reversed it. We live on a globe, but we live on the inside surface. They just reversed it. They turned things inside out.
Yeah.
So Tiffany's Vinci, I think, is a new watcher, perhaps a new subscriber. I liked what she said. I'm not familiar. I don't think I've seen your name a whole lot, dear. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I'm grateful for the internet. She said I'd still be a glober if not for it. I was too gullible to think of it on my own, even though it never made sense deep down. Well, that reason it didn't make sense deep down is you let yourself doubt yourself. That right there, I was too gullible. We all were, sweetheart. Don't let it floor you. Don't let it floor you, man. We was all there, baby. We was all there, wasn't we? Yeah, everybody up here you see on the panel at one time. We all drank the Kool-Aid because they forced us to drink the Kool-Aid. That's the only thing there was to drink.
Oh yeah.
So You know, once I've even like offered this information off to like my grandson and shit, he's comparing it. He's going, okay, you know, here's what Papa says, here's what school says. And I'm like, you know, work it out yourself, man. I'm not going to tell you one way or the other. What do you think? What do your senses tell you? You know, does what Papa says make sense, or what do they say makes sense? What do you think? You decide, and don't decide on it just because you love me or something. No, use your brain, use your mind. You know, that's what it's for. Work that thing. It's like a muscle. You don't use it, it atrophies. And that's what we've done with Cheetos and television programs and Mountain Dew and fast food and medicines and all this dumb shit until we just got these fucking amorphous, unhealthy zombies wandering in and out of the Walmart grocery section. Some of them in such a bad shape, they got to wait for a mobility cart, and then their ass hanging off the side of it like saddlebags. That's where we've come, man.
I've seen it.
You used to have to go to the fucking circus and pay extra to see shit like that. Now you go to Walmart and watch it all day long. So what is it? What's causing all that? Maybe people ought to start looking at that. What the fuck's making everybody so dumb? And then take a look at what I've got linked down in the description of this video about what NASA's really been fucking working on. $58 million a day. Take a look at what they've really been working on. Smart dust, methods to drug your ass or knock you out or give you medications from aerosols in the air and through vectors, and how to infect you with shit and how to hurt you and how to kill you. That's what they've been doing while you've been cheering them on. You've been cheering these crazy bastards on the whole time.
It's amazing what the media does.
Well, Peter, I got to ask you, what do you think about that Hollow Earth idea?
There's actually a website that has that same type of model.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked to people on Twitter about it. And, you know, or listen to what they had to say. And some of it's interesting. One thing I can agree with is they say the earth is motionless. It's like, okay, I agree with that. But the whole, I don't know, that whole other, and I get it, you know, like if like we live under a globe, not on a globe, that I could agree with, you know, because the whole concept of flat earth is it has a firmament dome above us. Yeah. So that the globe idea had to come from someplace. So Satan takes the land, puts it on the outside of the globe when we're actually on the inside of it. So in some respects, they have an idea, but I don't know. But they talk about how, like he was showing how the earth part and the water goes up the side, and it's like that loses me right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a few things I need to work out with that as well.
There is a website. It's concaveearth.com or something. Or
behavior of water is one of the biggest things to me.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the biggest immutable things that I see is the behavior of water. The miracle of water. The fact that you can have different waters, you know. We know there's heavy water. We know that there's all kinds of different waters, and liquid water is very, very mysterious, very lucky, very, very strange, because here's a substance that has like opposite effects with it. You know, it expands when it freezes. What's up with that?
Right.
You know, it's got some really interesting properties. You know, when I first started working in foods, it was like, put this here, take this over here, put it in the sink and run it underwater to thaw it out.
Right.
So automatically I thought use hot water. Well, hell no, man, use cold water. It thaws out way faster. And I'm like, what? That doesn't make no sense to me, right? I want a thought, I'm automatically thinking heat, right? But you're not thinking on the level of how this works. So, there's a lot of stuff too, things that people have as assumptions, and especially when it comes to water. Another one is light. Anybody that thinks that they're an expert on light, no, man, it's so mysterious. It does shit that people still don't understand. I mean, even then, when you start getting into holograms, right? You take a hologram, cut it up into a bunch of little pieces, and now you have a whole bunch of little holograms of the same original image. It's crazy as hell. It's like, what are you doing here? Somebody was talking about the image being captured in water, in the memory of water. And I've seen that too.
Yeah.
And it can carry emotion. It can carry energy.
Yeah.
And it's integral. I mean, I think this whole thing revolves around water. And I don't mean by physically revolving, but I mean the whole thing is built upon concepts of water.
Water, energy, yeah.
I have something. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm gonna go on Twitter. I'll send you something.
All right.
I have something to represent Sovereign, because you probably going to comprehend this and probably maybe add to it. Okay, because we do know that frequency fields affects the shape of something. As you've seen in some experiments, what they put sand on a plate and they vibrate certain frequencies and it makes certain shapes. Okay, could this be so? When it snows, the water is allowed enough time to take the crystalline shape of the frequencies that are actually being emitted on the planet. So I'm just bringing to the table, it turns out to be a hexagon because it has enough time to take its form. Could be possible, okay, that the shape of the flat Earth is a hexagon, a flat hexagon for the hive, the collective hive.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. See, there again, it's hypothesis. It's grounded in some good ideas along with it. So I think it's worth exploring. But then when it comes right down to it, how do we fucking test it? We're restricted, man. We really are. We're really hard restricted monetarily. Time wise, we're restricted in so many manner that it's hard for it. That's why it cracks me up, these idiots that say, well, go show me the edge or some dumb shit like that. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Go show me Mars. Okay, that's as ridiculous. You want me to show you Antarctica, me going to Antarctica. Okay, I'll do that as soon as you send me a picture of you going to Mars, or send me a video of you going to Mars. Not somebody else, you. You're going to ask me for shit that you know that I don't have the time, resources, money, or anything else for. But then tell me that they got little remote control fucking dune buggies on Mars that they're controlling from Earth somehow. That somebody captured a fly on its own camera, captured a fly landing on the rover on the moon. When I get my other system back, I'll show you that footage. It's hilarious. So we have space flies. We had another one where there was a rat running around or a mouse running around inside the fucking rocket engine while it was supposedly on fire, blasting off from Earth and shit. I mean, these guys are terrible. They're terrible. And I think even worse than the people that are making the lies are these pieces of shit that pass off in human form that we see, like Fight the Flat Earth and that bat-eating looking guy. What's his name? Something Ra.
Mr. Ra.
Yeah, Mr. Ra. Aaron Ra. Yeah, that guy. And McToon. These people are fucking horrible. They're selling out their fellow human being for a paycheck. And I think that's a reprehensible act, man. That's equally as bad as the 30 pieces of silver that Judas got. Okay, that's just as bad. When you
I think
do
it's
it,
worse.
man, it's the same thing, if not worse. Yeah.
I think to comprehend this whole place,
What's that?
one would have to go to comprehend this place. One would have to go into the understanding of a holographic projection, and then probably we'd start getting close. If we even are given the proper information about a holographic projection, I don't think they even know how it actually a true holographic projection is generated, or it's 3D, not 2D. The ones they represent, they say they've sort of broken the holographic imaging. There was a rap artist where they did a holographic concert. I think it was with Tupac. He looked pretty real, but at some phases he looked really real, but at some other angles it just looked like a hologram.
Well, we can't look we can't let the slaves see all the full tricks, or else they're not going to buy the alien invasion, right? So we have to show the product that has a few flaws that we've already worked out, right? So that's what's actually going on, man. Of course, you could tell it was a hologram. They wanted you to be able to tell at some points that it was a hologram, because then you know what to look for, right? But if they've worked all those things out, which they already had at that point, they're getting ready to use that shit on us. I think they already have been using it on us.
Have you viewed Sovereign somewhere in Asia? There's a place where the Asians are doing these holographic imaging. It's almost like 3D, where there's a whale, there's a lion, and just people are in there experiencing it. It looked very real, like the way it was a 3D surround hologram. That's the best I've seen. I don't know if anybody's seen that video, but in Asia, their technology is quite far more advanced. But then again, I question if it was just CGI. It just looked not feasible. It looked too real.
I've seen that. Listen, for entertainment in Dubai in the mall, and they've had this probably 10 years. It's probably even better now. They have 7D holographic technology that entertain the patrons by having an astronaut, of course, bounce out onto the floor and interact with people. And they have a whale that comes up out of the middle of the floor and splashes back down. Some dolphins.
That's the one I'm talking about. Maybe I misinterpreted in Asia.
It's in Dubai. It's an Arab. It's part of the Arab Emirates, Dubai. This place is like Jetson land. I'm not shitting you. You ought to see some of these places. Azerbaijan, that place is like a futuristic city.
I bet, yeah.
Dubai is the same way, man. They got these buildings that they're designed for cooling the building, and the entire fucking building rotates to match the wind so that it can come over the fins the correct way. And this thing's a big skyscraper and shit. They got all kinds of
aliens.
Aliens
live in Dubai.
I don't know, man. Maybe we are in a third world nation being propagandized that we're actually first world.
Exactly.
What it looks like to me.
Yeah, you'd figure the technology would be different here than there.
Yeah, I mean, listen, these places are crazy. Have you seen those man-made islands they make from the air? They have
I've seen that. Yeah.
Like a palm tree. They got other ones that look like different shit. They built these places, and now there's people live on those.
Yeah, I mean, and apparently one of the structures was a resurrection of Atlantis, the actual Atlantean structure of Atlantis.
I mean, you got to look at what's going on, man. I think we're being so badly lied to. We're so badly propagandized that we've drank all the Kool-Aid. We're shown these images of other places, and we think they're picking their butt and living in the dirt and shit. And in reality, a lot of them are way farther ahead than we are, right? And meanwhile, we're told we're the greatest people in the world. We're the best place in the world. Blah, 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 blah. And we believe that shit because it feels good to believe that, right? But then when you put it on a comparison block with every place else and you're going, hey, wait a second, man, we got a lot of fucking shortcomings, man. Maybe we shouldn't be crowing so loud. That's what I did. I went, fuck, what are we crowing about over here? We got the highest prison population in the world. Look at our goddamn government. They can't get any business done because there's so much fucking corruption and infighting going on. They can't do anything. That's stagnated. It's done. Our inner cities are falling into armpits even worse than they were. This is it's Babylon. We got people out there having butt sex in the middle of the street, exhibiting their pride. And if somebody invokes the Bible, they lock that guy in jail. What's it sounding like, man? What's it sounding like? I'm not preaching religion. I'm just saying, what's it sounding like? Days of Noah? Sure as hell does to me. So Peter sent this to me. There is glass in the sky and the concave earth. And so these are the reasons why is rainbows, halos, glories, circumzenith arcs, sundogs, and other atmospheric optics. Libyan desert glass, textite origin. I don't know what that is. Mega cryometer origin solved. Birefringence of glass found in LDG reveals what's LDG?
No idea.
Reveals reason for double suns, comet's tail splitting, quadruple rainbow displacement. Ozone, fresh scent after a thunderstorm connected to glass plate air ionizers. I don't know, man.
I don't know either.
I'm having some trouble with that right there. I'm having some trouble with that. Just from a conceptual standpoint. I don't know. I'm gonna have to run that through the logic matrix. I'm gonna have to run that through the logic matrix. I'm gonna have to listen to a little bit more, but I'm gonna have to need more than that.
Hey, I've been.
Oh,
I hear you, Dr. Al. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I've been a flat earther for quite a long time, and there's a few problems with it, and I think I've mentioned a couple of them.
Yeah.
And you really do have to deeply investigate flat Earth before you can even start to consider that it might be a cellular shape. God makes things in cellular shapes. He doesn't make things that float around in the bloody never.
You know, part of that though, and it's easy to get off onto something like this too, is because it's what is your model? Okay. We have to also understand that the heliocentric model is based on a lot of assumptions regarding things that we see in the sky. In fact, all of it is assumptions. Size and distance and composition of the sun, size, distance, and composition of the moon, size, shape of containment. There's a whole bunch of, or they don't even think there's any containment. They just have this violation of entropy. So there's a whole lot of host of assumptions right off the bat with that. So we have to go with what we know for a fact. We have to go from the basics. We know that we've not found any convexity. We cannot measure any convexity. Using objects in the sky, once again, that's dumb because, once again, we don't know what we're looking through or what we're looking at. We do know that they have predictable patterns of movement that we can use for navigation, blah, 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 blah. However, none of that tells us what true view we're actually having or of what we are actually viewing. So those things are speculation as well. So this leaves us back at Jump Street. One, we have to figure out what the sun and moon are and exactly where they are. Two, we have to know what the containment is and what's its limits. And 3, we have to understand what the medium beyond our containment, if there is any, is around these objects that we are observing in the sky. Now, once we get there, we have to determine, are these things within the thickness of said containment, or are they beyond said containment? I don't know. So we have to go with what we can actually test, and we have to start at Jump Street. And how we start at Jump Street is we have to shit can every assumption that has been made. And that goes all the way back to a Greek saying, well, the sun and moon appear to be the same size, but since the sun is so bright, this can only mean that it is very far away. Well, no, it doesn't. It could mean that it's the same size, just as close. It's just bright. You know, Christ. So we have to really we have to be careful that we know that right there actually goes with the idea that we're seeing some kind of a curved sky that appears to be of a glacious nature. Does that mean that it's glass? No, it does not. Other things are transparent and look like glass as well and are not. Water, ice. There's a multitude of different things that are transparent like molten glass. Not that molten glass is actually transparent, but in a molten state means liquid, fluid, in a fluid state. Doesn't necessarily mean hot. So what acts like a molten glass would? So that's kind of a clue. I think it could be maybe a place to start. But the assumptions that are made of what these objects are, how far away they are, without even investigating first the very basic things of how are you violating a basic law of entropy in the first place.
Hey, Lucky's got a globe proof.
Okay, Lucky, let's see. Is this the one?
Yeah.
Argues.
He's got a globe right here. Roosters.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, Lucky, here's I don't know if you caught my analogy that goes along with this. This is the same assumption shit, right? So Monday through Saturday, at around the same time of day, I see a red car go down my street. Okay, headed north. And usually within a few half hour to 40 minutes of that car going by, my mail arrives. Except on Sunday. On Sunday, the red car doesn't go by and I don't get any mail. So this can only mean that red car going by my house causes my mail to come. All right. Now here's the problem with that assumption, because it could be partially right. Okay. Or it could have no correlation whatsoever. But upon further investigation, we find out that the reason that happens is because the guy in the red car is actually the mail carrier. Okay. And he was on his way to work to the post office. And shortly after getting there, I'm one of the first people on his route. And since he doesn't work on Sunday, the red car doesn't go by. Now, that's one possibility where the red car could indirectly be causing my mail to come. But in all likelihood, if we find out that that is indeed not the mail carrier that's driving to work, we can't say that there's really any correlation other than the fact that somebody in a red car goes someplace Monday through Saturday around the same time as the mail is delivered. That's like thinking that the indicator light on your oven is what's causing the fucking heat. Right? So they do this with the moon. We notice that these tides happen when the moon looks like this. Oh, so the moon must be causing the tide. Right again. Okay, well, let's use that logic. I noticed that when my oven has a 450-degree temperature, there's an indicator light over here. So that means that that indicator light is what's causing that 450-degree temperature inside. And once again, indirectly, maybe because that light's in the same system that tells me that that's being heated up, but the light itself is not what's causing it. This is the globe logic. Lucky hits on this shit. This is what I like. Lucky is he's right there with me. We both like, fuck your nonsense. Bring this shit back down to common sense, man. Trying to confuse my brain, man. That's what they try to do. They just try to run your mind nuts.
Yes. Okay. Now, if the moon was so powerfully magnetic to move billions of tons of water, that would define cars that are metal should be flying up to the moon like paper clips.
Yes, think about that. Okay, so why is the air stuck to the earth then? Oh, because of gravity. Okay, gravity
Yeah,
holds
right.
the air to the earth. Okay, well that sounds good. Let's explore that a little bit. So the moon is pulling on millions of gallons of water, right? So that we see this noticeable tide, right? And we know it takes a lot more force to pull on the water than it does the air, right? Because you even said so, but it affects the air. So what kind of a tide is the atmosphere getting pulled out to if it's pulling the water that hard, right? Do we notice any kind of a pressure relief on us? Like, does it go down to maybe 10 psi? Well, the moon's right overhead, and then kind of slowly comes back like the tide does, and we just don't happen to fucking notice it. Come on.
Impossible.
Every bit of their shit falls apart.
I came to conclusion. The Earth is like a mechanical teeter-totter. That's why it's like this Earth it's a mechanical type of system and it uses kinetic energy to get more energy. So I came to a conclusion that a flat type of Earth structure rocking one way to get the water go, like almost like a sand hourglass being used for kinetic energy somehow, and then to rock back the other way, it would cause the up and down tide displacement, right? It's almost like a
what about this, man?
kinetic system.
Have you ever run a hydroponic system before?
No, I haven't.
A hydroponic system, and you know what I used to do? I artificially used to create a tide in my buckets with a pump. Okay. Why are we ruling out the idea that this whole thing is working like a machine anyways, right? Maybe there's some kind of a circulation pumping system that twice a day reclaims and circulates the water.
Yeah.
Refresh.
There's a name for it. I've heard people explain it.
Remember when we found the Virago? Remember when we found the Virago on the 1587 map that night? It's up off the coast of Norway.
Yeah.
Right? Something like that. You have to map, and then we have all the explorers that have talked about it up at the North Pole with this vortex that goes twice a day around Mount Meru.
Yep.
Come on, y'all. So, M-Ball is always appealing to authority. You're not going to accept what other people did? No, because obviously they did something wrong, and it ended up in them thinking that I'm on a fucking ball, which is stupid. So they must have done something wrong. Besides, it was long ago. And isn't it you guys that say that people from long ago were fucking stupid? Well, all your people are from long ago. They must have been stupid. We guess we got to start over, man. God, use your own logic, man. Do the M-Ball globe. She's really this M-Ball's really trying to get somebody to go out and buy a globe and shit and sit out in your yard and do some kind of shit, but they haven't bothered to do it themselves and videotape it or anything. They haven't video recorded this magnificent experiment that they've got that requires you to go out and purchase a globe and then sit out in your yard and look at the sun with it for some reason. I don't understand what the hell that is going on.
What do you think these people, what are they getting out of this coming here? Is this their fantasy time to sit here and chat in these
I don't
They
know.
don't agree. They don't agree with us. So what are they trying to do? Convince us or convince themselves they're right? I don't know.
They're like, oh, stop saying things that I don't like. That's
Yeah,
what
it's
they do.
just you must have a miserable. I don't know. Miserable
I mean,
existence.
it's this much right here. It's like, you can't see me now.
Yeah.
You know, really, little Billy, come on, man.
I truly believe shape is determined by the frequency emissions within the containment field. So I have
Sure, but you got to also
something
understand this,
that arose here.
flat is not a shape. Flat is a condition. Level is a condition. You see?
Yes.
So and then you hear these idiots, do you have any measurements for your flatness of your earth? What the fuck are you talking about? What do you want? Micro inches of finish? Are you, what's the finish of the level plane? Are you shitting me? Measurements for what? There's no measurements for a level plane. It's either fucking level or it's not. Are you talking about topographical features? Well, that's all changing all the time anyways, from erosion, wind, rain, earthquakes, you name it. We have all that kind of shit. Volcanoes create new land, put new other land underground. You know, it's a continuous cycle. So I don't understand what they're talking about with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Flat is a description.
Yep.
Well, you have an excellent point there, because when you pour water out, it doesn't shape to the of a globe, nor does cement, nor any other structure.
Yeah.
And even vapors of smoke goes flat when you blow it of a good so-called vape. It doesn't go into a sphere.
Right. Well,
Goes into sheets.
even water, what they say, well, water in 0G, well, not without you coaxing it to, and it won't stay like that. And there's no such thing as 0G. You're giving the illusion of 0G by being inside something, free falling along with it. So you, the water, and the 0G plane are merely in free fall. You want to impress my ass? Go up there with 5-gallon bucket from one of them Home Depot buckets. Fill that fucker up with water. Go up on your 0G plane, right? Now make me a ball. Show me your ball of water. Okay? Screw you with your little fucking gob that's in free fall and acts all jelly. You're going to take a screenshot when it looks most like a sphere. Some of the most intellectually dishonest fucking people I've ever seen in my life is these ballers, man. I'm sorry. You know, I used to think, you know, there's some people that genuinely don't know. But then you've got these other ones. And, you know, fuck them. Fuck them. They're the sheep. They're the Karens. And I don't even care about them. That's all.
I don't think they're even human.
No, I don't either, man. Anybody be willing to sell their soul out like that, especially to deceive their fellow man?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
I ain't got no patience for those people. I don't have no patience for people that take advantage of other people, especially when they do it playing on their ignorance, which is exactly what these people do, because a lot of their ball-tard audience are those that are wanting the comfort of the crowd with their ridiculous beliefs.
Yeah, they're in control because they've been poisoning us with water and food and air and manipulating our minds by compulsory schooling. These NPCs, they just haven't been given a chance to be human.
Nope.
Yeah. Yep.
No. They've been given a chance. I will give them that. And they almost had us. But fortunately, and I'm usually pretty pessimistic, but what I'm seeing and the patterns I'm seeing coming about gives me a lot of hope. Not that we're going to restore America or anything else like that. I think we're going to be able to restore humanity. Or at least humanity is going to be restored.
Yep.
Let me put it that way.
Yeah. One person at a time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
But
happening.
the majority of America's had it. I mean, I visited America about 30 years ago, and the bridges were rusting away.
Oh yeah,
They
This-
needed paint.
yeah. Our infrastructure is dismal. Our cities are dismal.
Yep.
Listen, this barn burnt down a long time ago. About the time you were coming here, Dr. Alk. It's people sitting there trying to decide what color to paint the barn, and it's already burnt down to its foundation. It's done. You know what I'm saying? And it's
True.
like, oh, this guy can save it. No, you can't. It's like mesothelioma. Mesothelioma is a really nasty type of cancer that works its way fibrously through your body. There's no way to remove it because it weaves itself like a web through your tissues. Okay? And that's exactly what has happened to America. A mesothelioma of sorts has infected through the tissues and every bit of the structure we once called the United States of America. There is no way to remove it without killing the patient.
Hey, I'll tell you how to prevent it.
Oh, that would have been good. That would have been a good advice about 1936.
Hey, there's been
Let's
some
hear it.
studies done just recently that really conclusively show that nicotine stops all of those bloody things.
You know,
That's why they want to stop us from smoking.
Yeah, I smoke like a fucking chimney, brother. And
you won't get cancer, and you won't get that philioma either.
No, and in fact, I don't let anybody put that in my brain. I mean, I don't let anybody even put that in my mind. The idea of me getting that is never crossed my mind. I'm not going to manifest that. And I believe they get you to manifest yourself by reinforcing. They reinforce ideas on you. They reinforce an assertion that this will give you cancer. This will give you cancer, and so you start believing it. And then you start looking for it. God, don't ever go looking for something you don't want to find. You know that. Don't ever go looking for something that you don't want to find, because you will manifest it and you will find it and it will fucking devastate you. So be very careful. Doctors tell people, check yourself for lumps while you're in the shower. No. Don't do that. Why are you looking for something? Why are you trying to manifest something? Yes, be aware of your body, know how your body feels, but don't be looking for something, because when you go looking for something, you're going to manifest it and you're going to find it. And they know that. You don't know that. They do know that. And they run this on you all the time.
Exactly. And this is why I call a lot of doctors hitmen. They actually give people the diseases from the thought insertion. That's like a program. Like you're saying, Sovereign, one manifests these, but
yeah, well, it's exactly what we do, and they get us to do it. We don't realize that we have the power to do that. Listen, how many people think about this, man? The last time when you got pulled over by a cop, I bet you were thinking, God, I hope I don't get pulled over. I bet that had been on your mind recently. Or even when you saw the cop, you was like, oh, I hope he doesn't pull me over. Beep! That's exactly what the fuck happened. I mean, I've seen it happen many times. You don't just keep it out of your mind. You know, stay on your path. Don't let other people put thoughts in your mind. The emotion in the thought is what makes the thought powerful. It's the intention behind it, and the emotion that's evoked with it that causes the manifestation. This is why positive manifestation is the best that you can do, because it takes the ingredient of gratitude and belief in the manifestation having already occurred, immersing yourself in the exact feeling of what it would be to have that come to fruition, of what it's like to have it come to fruition, along with gratitude. People often, they pray for things and they get exactly what they prayed for, expectation of what they prayed for. So you don't
Yes.
pray for something, you pray the thing. And by doing that, it's extreme belief in what you're praying has already come to fruition. And the gratitude that comes along with it for that, because I'm so happy it already happened. I'm so happy it's happened. That's got to kind of go along with it. It's tantamount to it. Think about this. Why do firewalkers not burn their feet? Because they don't believe they can. That's the answer. Because they don't believe that they will be burned. And that not just say that, they fully believe that. That's why do you think we end a prayer with Amen? Amen. What's that mean? It is so. So be it. What I just said has occurred. Amen. A lot of people lose it when it comes to that. They think you just say a prayer or talk to a deity. God doesn't speak English. Okay. The creator does not speak English. He doesn't speak math. He doesn't speak English. He doesn't speak Japanese. He speaks the language of the heart. This is why all the depictions of Jesus show him exemplifying the heart. God speaks the language of the heart, not the language of the tongue. I hope that makes sense to people. God speaks the language of the heart. And also think about this. Where in the Bible did Jesus ever say that he wanted people to worship him? Nowhere. In fact, I believe he would have discouraged such a thing. It's not until we start getting into Paul is when we have that crap start happening. So you got to be real careful. Look at what the messages are and forget about this other. Look at the message. The language of the heart. The feeling is the prayer. Gratitude is the secret ingredient. Does that make sense? Such simple things. Yes, very simple. Very, very.
Feeling is indeed the language that is more evolved. That one is synchronized to their creator.
M-Ball, did you just say Lucky is a lazy guy? You got to be fucking shitting me. If you had half the energy and did a quarter of the things that Lucky Haskins does, this man has been hustling and doing his shit his whole life and ain't never had to answer to no other man for it. You ought to know something, man. That's just more of that. Look at that. You see that? That's what they have. You just proved Lucky's point. Right? Because when all else fails, let's insult.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go right there to the fucking we're gonna get off of what we're talking about and we're just gonna try to smear you. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
He's been in there pushing a raindrop is around.
Oh God.
We have a cyberspace vampire trying to get our attention.
How to say I don't understand surface tension without saying I don't understand surface tension?
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing that pisses me off too. They act like you don't even know. You just grew up barefoot off a mountain someplace and never heard of them there schools that people go to. Yeah. Motherfucker, I went to the same indoctrination centers you did. The only thing was I was the kid in the back that didn't follow the fucking rules. You were the one up front sucking the teacher's ass and shit. Look where it got you. You think you're a monkey on a fucking ball, weirdo. You let them take your brain and turn it into ramen noodles. And they didn't even put no flavoring in it, man. That's what happened.
Right on. Right on.
I mean, for real, M-Ball. Why you even come here, honey? I don't even get it. You need to come up there. Listen, Sean, I'll give you $100. Will you permanently ban me
That's not enough. Software
ban-
doesn't work that cheap.
Oh, you want me to ban M-ball? No, I'm not going to ban M-ball. M-ball's good to play with, and you know, times are tough. Hang on to that $100. Besides, it's Canadian money. Fuck you. It ain't worth nothing.
Hey.
like our money is worth something, right?
Oh, there's Lucky.
Yeah, it is. What's going on, my brother from another mother? How you doing?
Lucky with the rooster.
Hey, let me in here.
You're in.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
Let me
What?
in. Oh, I'm here. Oh, there it is. Okay.
What?
No, I don't.
Hey, listen, you got to be
Speak up.
watching on. Hey, Lucky, you got to be watching it on StreamYard because there's a delay going to YouTube.
Oh, I got to turn. Okay,
So,
I got to.
so be watching it over here on StreamYard and listening to it there. You'll get all the sound and everything else. You just won't
How's
have
that?
that delay. There you go, man.
Oh, okay. Right on. The reason I had to jump on, I'm not going to stay on long because I have more fun kicking back and watching, brother. I love listening to you guys. Great show tonight. But I want to clarify something here because this comes up all the time. Okay. And just a minute ago, M-Ball was in the chat saying, you guys don't understand why you can't tell the earth is moving. And he goes, if you're on a bus and it's going 60 miles, and we know they do this, right? If you're on a bus and it's going 60 miles an hour, you could throw a piece of paper. You'd never know the bus was moving, right? Here's what I want to tell everybody. Every time some idiot tells you that, ask what would happen if the bus is going 60 miles an hour in a circle. Ask them what happens then if you throw the piece of paper or stand up, because the earth, according to them, is going in a circle. So they continuously say, well, that's why when you're on a plane, you can't tell you're moving, Lucky, because you're an idiot. You don't understand relativity. Well, wait a minute. What happens if the plane hangs a left at 500 miles an hour? You know what they do? They tell you to sit down and tell you to put on your seatbelts because you're going to go flying across the fucking plane. Well, guess what? They're the same people that tell you get on the bus going 60 miles an hour, you'll never know you're moving. Turn around, tell you then the earth's a ball. Now, if the earth's a ball and it's moving, that requires something in physics, because Mr. Ball loves to sit in the chat telling everybody they don't understand physics. If you're going in a circle at 60 miles an hour, that requires something called acceleration. That's why you feel it. If you're going in a circle, it will throw you against the wall, even if the speed is consistent. So there you go, Mr. Ball. You called me out, called me a lazy idiot. Okay, take your stupid 60 mile an hour on the bus crap and get it right and go back to third grade physics class. Okay, that's it. I love you guys. You can get back to the show. I'm out. That's all I wanted to say.
Thanks, sir.
Right?
Well,
Lucky,
thanks
Lucky,
for arriving, Lucky.
Let me just expand on that a little bit with the airplane. Okay. So
yeah,
given
I know what you're gonna say.
given all the movements that we're supposedly going, all right, we got to go along that. We're not only traveling in this airplane, right? And what we got to do is put that thing into a barrel roll loop the loop. Okay, because we need perpendicular rotation going on at the same time, because if we're spinning around this way, going around this way, and the sun's going 500,000 miles and we're chasing it in this corkscrew shit, there's perpendicular movement. So we got to put our plane into a barrel roll while it's doing a loop the loop. Now, you feel that shit?
But even on a ball, you're going in a circle, not right. I mean, that requires, if my understanding of physics is somewhat correct, it requires acceleration. And again, that's just when they say, well, get in a car, how come you can't tell you're moving? Hang a left. What happens now? Even if you do a continuous circle at a continuous speed, you're going to be thrown to the other side of the car the entire time, even if your speed is constant, right? Because what they keep trying to tell us about you wouldn't feel it in a plane, you wouldn't feel it in a car, is not a direct comparison.
Yeah.
Right.
And these things they use too, it's always inside a car, or inside a plane, inside a train. I stand on the earth. You know,
Right.
so why isn't it? Oh, why don't they stand on a car doing 100 and videotape themselves on it,
it's
not
all
in it?
lunacy.
A
It's all
convertible.
One
Just
guy
take the
told me,
top
Yeah,
down.
how about an open cockpit plane? Try that one.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's lunacy. One dude tells me one time, we'll get on the road and go 100 miles an hour. You can sit in there and drink a soda and nothing happens. And I said, well, my Cadillac's got a sunroof, man. When I open that some bitch makes a mess out of everything. If I'm going 100 miles an hour, right? Now my ashes are blowing all over the damn car. Don't tell me I ain't feeling the motion. Anyway, I got bored of chatting back and forth with M-Ball. And I'm like, hell, I'll put my money where my mouth is. Let's talk about your bus at 60 miles an hour. Give me a break, man.
I love
Get
it.
on that same bus, hang a left, see if you can stand up and play
Fucking
catch.
love it, man.
Come
I
on,
love
man.
it.
All right, I'm out, fellas.
All
I'm gonna
right.
spin one up and kick back and watch. I don't know if I know how to get out.
Well, I'm only doing about 5 more minutes anyways here. I'm going to cut her down and, of course, we'll come back on tomorrow night.
Cheers, you guys.
And then I guess they would.
Great show.
Yeah.
All right, Lucky. Thanks for coming up.
Say hi to your rooster.
See you later. So the counteract to this would be from the ballers would be, it's the gravity that makes it stationary. No, it's not. It's because it's already stationary, everything.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's
a solid object.
The most obvious answer as to why you don't feel the movement is because there's no movement.
Right. And you don't see it moving. Earth's a solid object. Should be able to see it moving. You know, they always do the feel thing, you know. Well, if you're in a car doing, we'll sit on the car and do it. Then they blame it on the wind. So when you stand on the earth, there's no wind. But if you're on a car, evidently the wind, you know.
And also, you see the star.
What's
How about
going
the
on,
stars in space? If the stars in space should be spinning really fast, then they shouldn't they?
Well, there again, what are the stars and where are they really? We don't know.
Well,
They're not in space. You know, it's just like, come on, that kind of shit. That's why I say I'm not even wanting to talk about the fucking shit in the sky to prove the condition. Okay, we don't even know.
Yeah,
what that
exactly.
shit is. We don't even know
All
what
right.
that. Right.
All that being said, Sovereign, since it's almost coming to end this panel, great panel. Thanks to everybody that participated. Till the next panel, be well, be safe. Everybody, whatever time it is, do what you need to do in your places.
All right. Thanks, Singh. Thanks for coming up, brother. Peter, you want to leave us with anything before we go?
No, just it's peace and love to everyone.
Right on, bro.
Good.
Appreciate that. Much love, man.
Yep.
Dr. Ake, you got anything you want to leave us with? I usually give him a minute. He takes a little bit.
Night.
All right. Good night. All right. Well, I guess probably not. So I'm going to just be me. And I'm going to say what we always say here, man. Don't fall for the nonsense, guys. Listen, be wary of what their tactics are. What they're going to do is try to pin you down to a claim. And in reality, they have the claim. What we do know, that's what we stick with. Okay. That's why when I say that there must be containment, and they say, well, where is your container? I don't fucking know, man. It's obviously above us somewhere. So let's go there with that. They're the ones with the claim. So Lord loves the working man. Don't trust Whitey. See your doctor and fire his ass because he'll probably kill you. Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow.